is you. And even if my house falls down now, I wouldn't have a clue, because you're near me. And I want to thank you for giving me the best day of my life. And just to be with you is having the best day of my life.
This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester. Transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James. Serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock. From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning. A very good morning to you. I'm Tona Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Tuesday, June 10, 2025. National Security Minister projects fewer than 800 murders for 2025. Major crimes in the Kingston Central Police Division down by 36%. PNP says a court injunction over takedown of party billboards in St. James is a win for democracy and fairness. In regional news, Trinidad and Tobago Appeal Court clears way for $20 million payout in a kidnapping lawsuit. In international news, 10 dead in Austria school shooting. In sports, West Indies batting star Nicholas Paran retires from international cricket. And in business, HBO and CNN owner to split streaming and cable businesses. The details after the break.
Make a toast to your future. The JTA Cooperative Credit Union is by your side. All educators, the best is what you deserve.
We'll keep your dreams alive.
Competitive loans to help you grow.
We'll take you higher.
Great returns on your savings. A bright future is in the making.
Build the best you with the best credit union. We are committed to serving you.
The JTA Cooperative Credit Union, serving our members, impacting lives positively.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says if the current pattern holds, the country could see well below 800 murders for 2025. Speaking with the Nationwide News' Cliff Hughes on Monday, Dr. Chang credited the continued reduction in the country's murder rate on the work of the police in disrupting gangs with the continued backing of the Holness administration.
So based on the numbers so far this year, yes, it seems as if we could come in well under 800 this year.
That's where the numbers are heading now. It will be the first time in many, many years, but the numbers are going very well. We are now averaging under 50 for the last, except for, I think it is 60 in about March or April, but this year we're looking under 50 regular. About 3 months under 50, which is a remarkable achievement in the last 2 months and the month before that, February. The police is demonstrating an effective media disruption again, but more critically, the policy I've adopted is to target the key players in the gangs, which then evokes a different change in behavior. Okay, if we don't have the killer to go and shoot, then they have to change the approach. And now they'll look at some of the organizers, and it's really disrupting the violence of the gang significantly.
Between January 1 and Monday, June 9, 292 murders were recorded. That's 231 fewer than the 523 murders recorded for the same period in 2024. Overall, major crimes are down by 20%. Dr. Chang says this reduction represents a nationwide trend.
It's a national trend. In fact, I checked today, but last week we only had 2 parishes out of 9, and they were the 2 of the traditional safe parishes, so the numbers were pretty minimal. I think we had an incident in Portland where 2 Haitians of the illegal immigrants had an incident, and one murdered one, the other one. This friend murdered the other one, so you have 2 over last year. And in St. Mary, we have 1 in excess of last year. So that's the number, and that's also a parish which has, I think, 112 murders. So they are not major crime centers. All the major crime centers, and they are down, significantly down. Like St. James about 65% below. Western is somewhere in the 50s below. Clarendon is way down. And South St. Andrew was the one giving some trouble, but they're still below. I think they were tying at once, they're just below what they were last year.
Dr. Horace Chang, Minister of National Security. Meanwhile, Dr. Chang says the government is providing the necessary support to the JCF to ensure that the country sustains the reductions in murders.
It's a national trend. In fact, I checked today, but last week we only had 2 parishes out of 9, and they were the 2 of the traditional safe parishes, so the numbers were pretty minimal. I think we had an incident in Portland where 2 Haitians of the illegal immigrants had an incident, and one murdered one, the other one. This friend murdered the other one, so you have 2 over last year. And in St. Mary, we have 1 in excess of last year. So that's the number, and that's also a parish which has, I think, 112 murders. So they are not major crime centers. All the major crime centers, and they are down, significantly down. Like St. James about 65% below. Western is somewhere in the 50s below. Clarendon is way down. And South St. Andrew was the one giving some trouble, but they're still below. I think they were tying at once, they're just below what they were last year.
Dr. Chang says the police are doing their work or their job with confidence.
To ensure the police is confident that we're not going to invest and stop halfway. The Special Operations West, where we need far more police officers, and it's costing us a significant amount of rental in buildings that are not suitable. We are proceeding to get a Special Operations base, which had to redesign, and it will cost about $11 billion. All these are going through the Public Investment Assessment Board and going through successfully, so they can have confidence in what we're doing. And critically, we have ensured that the Commissioner remains in charge of operations, police operation. We don't interfere. We articulate our policy inform me of his approach, and we have had no problem in proceeding along those lines. I think the men feel empowered to carry out the job.
Dr. Horace Chang, Minister of National Security. He was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. Major crimes are down in the Kingston Central Police Division, with a 36% reduction in murders and shootings. There's also been an overall 16% drop in major crimes. Commanding officer for the division, Senior Superintendent Beresford Williams, revealed the figures while speaking with Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness on Monday. SSP Williams says despite the reduction, there's a growing problem concerning interpersonal and domestic disputes.
Unfortunately, after going 16 months in this particular year, which was one of our most challenging years, we had a murder last month. But we have gotten on top of that. What has caused some problem for us, we have had a few unfortunate murders, stabbing murders, which has kind of shown our figures off, but we're still within the targets that we have set.
So you're seeing the impact of reduced organized violence.
Right.
But you're seeing the increased social violence.
Yes, sir.
Which would usually, a feature of that would be the stabbings or...
That's correct. Of the 9 murders we've had since here, 3 of them have been attributed to stabbing.
Prime Minister Holness met with SSP Williams and his team in Parade Gardens, a community that has been under Zone of Special Operations ZOSO since January 2022. SSP Williams says the security forces are actively engaging in community policing.
The social, the community engagement, the domestic violence workshop, all those things we are pushing at in trying to manage the domestic violence. So we are having a lot of community engagement, dialogue with all the players and all the communities to ensure that we stay on top of that. Critical is our intervention in the schools.
Yes.
Yes, so we are dealing with that as well, those sort of interventions. So we know that with continued effort like this, we will stay on top of it.
Yeah.
SSB Beresford Williams, commanding officer for the Kingston Central Police Division. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the government is moving to address the growing problem of gender-based and interpersonal violence. He says tackling interpersonal violence is just as important as addressing gang violence.
Part of the strategy is to deal with the murder, the man who used the ultimate violence, go on him, pop off his gun and kill somebody. But we also have to deal with the intimate partner violence, the man and woman business, where they beat up them one another and then them say they love each other. We have to deal with the family violence. People are fighting over land, go hire a hitman to kill family member to get land. We have to deal with the neighbor problem.
The Prime Minister was speaking at a constituency conference in South Central St. Catherine on Sunday. He's urging Jamaicans to seek help to resolve problems before they escalate.
If you have a problem and you can't handle the problem, before that problem escalates, so you pull a knife and stab somebody, or take acid and throw upon somebody, or some people, and not giving them any idea. But before it escalates, you just go there. Believe me, you just go there and say, listen, officer, I have this problem. And these police officers are specially trained. They're not coming to kick down your door and box and beat you up. They are coming there with the special training of how to counsel you through this challenge.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Opposition spokesperson on justice, Senator Donna Scott Motley, is hailing the decision by the Supreme Court to support the PNP's application for an injunction barring the removal of political billboards in St. James. Senator Scott Motley says this is yet another legal win for the PNP in its ongoing defense of democracy and fairness in Jamaica.
This ruling upholds the principles of fairness, freedom of expression, and the rule of law. The People's National Party will continue to challenge the abuse of state power wherever it appears. No public authority has a right to suppress legitimate political participation, and no Jamaican should fear political victimization.
Senator Donna Scott Motley, opposition spokesperson on justice. On Monday, the Supreme Court granted 3 PNP caretakers in the parish leave to seek judicial review of the decision by the St. James Municipal Corporation to take down multiple party campaign billboards on April 5, 2025. The claim was filed on behalf of PNP prospective candidates for West Central St. James, Dr. Andre Horton, Central St. James, Janice Allen, and Northwest St. James, Alan Bernard. The St. James Municipal Corporation was listed as the sole respondent. The PNP is commending Dr. Horton, Senator Allen, and Mr. Bernard for defending their rights and applauds the party's legal team for once again securing justice. The party says it's reaffirming its commitment to standing against all forms of political intimidation and to ensuring that Jamaicans can participate in free, fair, and transparent elections. Entitled and desperate. That's how Chairman of the JLP's Communications Task Force, Senator Abka Fitz-Henley, is describing the move by PNP President Mark Golding to berate members of the private sector who support the appointment of Dennis Chung as a Chief Technical Director of the Financial Investigations Division. Golding told a PNP forum last week that he's very disappointed in members of the private sector who've come to Chung's defense.
The move by the opposition leader to take to the political platform and essentially cuss members of the private sector who have disagreed with his stance concerning the FID appointment is very unfortunate. Beatrice Siaga and William Mafuda are 2 members of the private sector who have been vocal in supporting the appointment. Unnecessary, berating of some patriotic Jamaicans who are not coy about disagreeing when they see fit. What Golding has done regarding this matter is indicative of the leadership he proposes to bring, where when somebody disagrees with him, including members of the private sector, he clearly is prepared to take to the political platform and berate them unfairly and unnecessarily so. It smacks of a sense of entitlement and desperation on the part of the opposition and the opposition leader.
Senator Fitz-Henley says the frenzied, sustained attack on Chung proves that the Mark Golding-led PNP has no credible message for the electorate.
That's why when they go on the platform, they talk about the Prime Minister having 28 accounts, suggesting he's the beneficial owner of 28 bank accounts. Not true. It's a lie. If you look at the Integrity Commission document, it speaks to Prime Minister's mother's account, father's accounts, sister, loan accounts, a number of insurance accounts, mortgage, credit cards, etc. However, the opposition has been spreading this lie, seeking to pull the wool over the eyes of the Jamaican people, because they have no message. Murders are down, record decline, over 44%. Unemployment and poverty, record low. The Jamaica Labour Party administration will not be distracted by the lies of the opposition. We are working on behalf of the people of Jamaica.
Senator Abka Fitz-Henley, chairman of the JLP's Communications Task Force. Member of Parliament for Central Manchester, Rhoda Moy Crawford, says she's the hardest working representative in the constituency's history. She made the claim while speaking at a JLP workers' meeting at Manchester High School on Monday evening.
I don't have to come to defend my record of performance. I know, you know, every Jamaican in Jamaica and the diaspora know that I have worked very hard. Manchester Central has never had a more hard-working member of parliament than yours truly.
Crawford, a first-term MP, is set to be challenged by Mandeville Mayor, the PNP's Donovan Williams, at the next general election. Crawford says she has a sound record to campaign on.
We have not only built or rehabilitated or patched 35 roads. The numbers have since gone up. On the way with road number 37, the Sparks program in Barnstable. We have delivered record number of tuition grants. We have provided support with book grants. We have helped our schools on so many levels. We have provided more than 600 building grants to constituents. We have provided 10 social houses. When I just came here, we only had 1 free Wi-Fi in the town. Today, we have 8 free Wi-Fi hotspots.
Rhoda Moy Crawford, MP for Central Manchester. JLP Deputy Leader James Robertson says the corruption scandal gripping the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation confirms that the opposition PNP cannot be trusted with state power.
I am not going to cap, but there is an issue right now. And I am speaking in the councillor section, the early section tonight. I want to say to the PNP, if you own come and tell us that you have been thieving at the KSAC already, how so quickly you find yourself in that position? Their own has already given a statement to the police, to Mocha, and has told it how it a go. If they can be raiding the KSAC, thieving out the KSAC, good God, how could you make them go near billions when they're already thieving millions?
James Robertson, a JLP deputy leader, addressing a constituency conference in South Central St. Catherine on Sunday. The opposition returned to the helm of the KSAMC following the local government election last year. Since then, the KSAMC has been rocked by a scandal, which took a major turn recently when former PNP caretaker for Central Kingston, Lawrence Rowe, gave a statement to the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, MOCA. Rowe name-dropped several high-profile PNP members who he alleged have been participating in a ruse to defraud the KSAMC. Rowe, whose phone was seized by MOCA as part of their investigation, also alleged that a senior PNP politician has been funding criminal dons in the corporate area. PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell and Kingston's Mayor Andrew Swaby have strongly denied knowledge of any wrongdoing by the PNP or the KSAMC. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Be in the know. Learn how local government is working for you. Follow us on Instagram and X at LocalGovJA and on Facebook at Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. The time by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development is
6:18.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
Regional and international news this morning. Regional news in Trinidad and Tobago. 9 men who were once charged with the high-profile kidnapping and murder of businesswoman Vindra Naipal Coolman have won their appeal, reclaiming a 20 million TNT payout from the state. The Newsday is reporting that in a majority decision, the Court of Appeal reinstated the compensation they had initially been awarded. The appeal court justices set aside a previous judge's decision to block the payout and restored both the default judgment and the original order by the master of the court. One of the 3 justices dissented. The men had sued the state for wrongful imprisonment and malicious prosecution after they were acquitted at the end of the criminal trial. In January 2021, a high court judge ruled in the men's favor after the state failed to defend the claim. A master later assessed the damages and awarded them each around 2.1 million in January 2023. But in December 2023, the High Court overturned that default judgment and the $20 million award. In Austria, 10 people were reportedly killed in a shooting at a secondary school in the city of Graz. The BBC says 8 students, at least 1 adult, and the suspected gunman are reportedly among the dead. The shooting happened at a high school in Austria's second largest city at about 10 a.m. local time. Police have yet to release official details beyond acknowledging that several people have been killed and that the school has been secured. Also in international news this morning, U.S. President Donald Trump is deploying more National Guard troops and Marines to Los Angeles as protests in the city continues. The BBC says Monday's protests were generally calmer, but the prospect of Marines on the streets has sent shivers through communities. California Governor Gavin Newsom says he will take legal action against the deployments, calling Trump deranged and dictatorial. Demonstrations in the city continued into a 4th day on Monday, with new rallies starting up across the U.S. against immigration authorities. Rubber bullets, stun grenades, and other non-lethal weapons have been used against the protesters. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
This Father's Day, escape to the Pamper Temple for ultimate relaxation. Adam and Eve Day Spa. All treatments are infused to melt your tension and remove stress. Pamper Dad with a massage, facial, body treatment, and mani-pedi. Unwind at Adam and Eve and enjoy complimentary Pure Country juices and a Johnny Walker. But now at www.adamandevedayspaja.com. Purchase gift certificates. Call 876-754-6017 or WhatsApp 876-567-2142 for details.
Yo, genius! Me just get the Burger King Double King combo. One original chicken sandwich plus a Whopper Junior with cheese. Well, 2 sandwiches enough. Plus a small fries and soda for only $1,300.
You use the new rubber money. You did say the money can stretch a Burger King.
Me mean you get more food for your money. One combo, 2 sandwiches.
So you want I got eat whole of 2 sandwich, brother? My belly can stretch, you know.
Get the BK Double King combo. Limited time only at Burger King.
Want to reduce your high electricity bills? Then Peak Energy has the solution for you. From grid-tied to hybrid solar inverters with full lithium-ion battery pack. Installation and maintenance packages available. Visit us at Shop 1, 3 Mosquito Valley Road, Red Hill, St. Andrew. Call 876-279-8820 or 944-0668. Or email us at peakenergysolutionsja@gmail.com. Peak Energy for everything solar.
And just before going to the sportscast, in the local news in relation to the Central Manchester story, I had said the Mandeville Mayor, the PNP's Donovan Williams, that should have read the PNP's Donovan Mitchell. In our sportscast this morning, West Indies batting star Nicholas Pooran has announced his retirement from international cricket. The 29-year-old made the announcement on Instagram. Pooran, who's the Windies T20 record holder for runs and appearances, says it's hard to put into words what wearing the maroon, standing for the anthem and giving everything he had each time he stepped on the field really means to him. He says he would always keep the privilege of captaining the team close to his heart. Pooran was suspended briefly in late 2019 after admitting to ball tampering against Afghanistan. He overcame that to be named West Indies T20 vice captain. About 18 months later for a tour by Australia, he became captain when Kieran Pollard couldn't play and led the team to a 4-1 series win. In 2022, he was named the permanent white ball captain and took the team to that year's T20 World Cup in Australia, but in a fallout from a first-round elimination, he resigned. Pooran played 106 T20s and scored 2,279 runs at an average of 26.14. He also played 61 one-day internationals, including 3 centuries and 1 World Cup. West Indies will aim to avoid a second straight sweep on their tour of the UK when they face England in the final game of their 3-match T20 International Series. The game is set for Tuesday at the Rose Bowl. The Windies were swept in the 3-match ODI series and have already lost the T20 series 2-0. Darren Sammy says given the quality players at his disposal, the West Indies should be performing much better than they have on the current tour of the UK.
Very disappointing the way we played in 2024. We were all looking forward to 2025, especially the contest we've had over the last 2 years against England, even though it's been at home. But we've been much more competitive in the series. So to lose both series and not get off the back yet, it's very disappointing because of the caliber of players we have in this team.
Darren Sammy. Defending champions Arnott Gardens have been drawn in Group D of the 2025 CFU Club Shield. They'll be joined by Club Franciscain of Martinique, Scholars International SC of the Cayman Islands, Dumblanc FC of Dominica, AC Port of Spain of Trinidad and Tobago, and Docks United of Anguilla. Arnott Gardens will need to get to the final of the CFU Club Shield in order to qualify for the 2025 CONCACAF Caribbean Cup. Finally, in your morning sports, the 2025 staging of the Everyone's a Winner 3 and 5K run walk is set for Hope Gardens on June 15. For over a decade, the signature running events initiative with the title sponsor Best Dressed Chicken has raised funds to support charitable causes. Since 2019, it has partnered with the Jamaica Society for the Blind directly, contributing to educational scholarships, adaptive technology, and vital rehabilitation programs for Jamaicans who are blind or visually impaired. The society, which has been serving the community for over 70 years, continues to expand its reach and impact, mainly in part proceeds from the run walk. Funds raised through Everyone's a Winner helped outfit the society's computer lab with adaptive technology, provided scholarships for high school and university students, and supported access to low-cost eye care through the organization's Vision Clinic. And that's it for your morning sports. Up next, business.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
In business this morning, Warner Brothers Discovery, which owns CNN and HBO Max, says it will split into two separate companies by the middle of next year. The U.S. media giant plans to separate its studio and streaming business away from its more traditional cable television networks. The move comes as streaming services attract hundreds of millions of users around the world, while cable TV has seen audiences decline in recent years. HBO Max has enjoyed success with shows including Succession, The White Lotus, and The Last of Us. Meanwhile, channels like CNN have been losing viewers. The hit shows will soon come under a new streaming and studios business, along with the company's film division, and will be headed by CEO David Zaslav. The other new company will be called Global Networks, with CNN, Discovery, and TNT Sports among its brands. This business will be led by Warner Brothers Discovery's Chief Financial Officer Gunnar Windefels. The splitting of the media conglomerate follows the 2022 merger that created Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, Uber is set to trial robotaxis in London next spring. Robotaxis are autonomous cars with no human safety driver at the wheel. The ride-hailing app will work with the UK artificial intelligence firm Wave, which has been testing out the technology on the city streets with human oversight in line with current legislation. The announcement comes after the UK government again changed its rules about the driverless cars. It was originally aiming for the tech to come to British roads in 2026. Then the date was changed to the second half of 2027. But it now says it is introducing an accelerated framework for small autonomous bus and taxi-like commercial services to get them underway earlier. It is not yet clear whether the vehicles in Uber's trial will be available for customers to use. The firm says it is still working out the details. It has previously said it intends to add them as a regular option via its UK app as soon as legislation allows. The Department for Transport says the industry could create 38,000 jobs and add £42 billion sterling to the UK economy by 2035. The GMB trade union says the significant social implications of driverless cars and taxis should also be fully considered. And in foreign exchange trading this morning, the Jamaican dollar will open trading, selling for an average $160.33 against the benchmark US dollar. The Jamaican will open trading, selling for an average $119.23 against the Canadian. And finally, the Jamaican will open trading selling for an average $217.47 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
Clear your barrels and personal shipments with ease and convenience. Request customs contactless clearance today through CCP at jca.gov.jm. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
6:32.
Spring into style with Unique Living. Upgrade your home with our extensive range of products. Get sleek shower panels, stylish vanities, LED and non-LED mirrors, plus kitchen sinks, closet solutions, ceiling fans, and more. Available in various finishes and sizes. Visit shop number 630 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10. Call 876-755-3661 or visit our website at www.uniquelivingja.com. Don't wait to spring into style with Unique Living.
Are your devices accurate? Are they calibrated? Even small errors can lead to big problems. That's why Jamaicans trust the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. From food to fuel, health to hardware, our metrology and testing division provides world-class calibration and measurement services to keep your devices precise and your business meeting global standards. Whether you're weighing goods, monitoring temperature, or relying on the accuracy of devices, we get it right every time. Our advanced equipment and experts help you move with confidence. Call 876-618-1534 or visit bsj.org.jm. The Bureau of Standards Jamaica. From lab to market, the power of precision, powering accuracy, ensuring safety.
Good morning to you. It's Tuesday, June 10, 2025. This is Nationwide This Morning. My name is George. The lady of the house is going to pop up on your screen any moment now, Tona Thomas. And yeah, it's a great morning. Good to have you here and really appreciate your company. And you know that, this is a show for good music. We have an ace at the controls, Mr. King, and he found something very, very special. My own personal tribute to Sylvester Stewart. You know him as Sly from Sly and the Family Stone. He checked out, died yesterday at age 82. For those of you who know your music, you know that group, Sly and the Family Stone, one of the greatest of all time. And we don't say that from a perspective of just handing out platitudes and coronating people great. You know, one of the most overused terms these days, great and legend, another one. But Sly was one of the very greatest. That group, the way what they did for the sound of music, the way people played instruments, the way people thought of music, the way people made music. You can list a lot of the greats and they'll tell you they got their influences from Sly and the Family Stone. And at 82, he's gone. But when you're as good as him and when you're as good as that group, you never die because your work lives on. It's a good way to introduce Tona this morning. Well, to allow Tona to introduce herself this morning.
Hello to you, George. How are you this morning?
Good.
What are you having?
A little minty.
Oh, it's mint.
Yes, mama.
Do you drink coffee?
No, you're mad. My heart race. My heart run like kitchen.
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
Yeah,
because I see coffee. What does it say? What does the mug say?
It says coffee, the only opinion needed.
Yeah.
But no, so I can't do the coffee something at all. Come on, my heart, I got jump out of my chest.
Yeah.
So I just don't.
It puts me on edge too. Good morning to you, our listeners out there in Radio Land. If you're joining us from the app this morning, good morning to you. Hello to our YouTubers, our peeps on the website. Good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Happy to have all of you joining us. Now, what's on my mind this morning? In about a week's time, the Jamaica Constabulary Force will have their Transformation Expo 2.0, focusing on people, quality, and technology. These are three important pillars that Dr. Kevin Blake was handed by his predecessor to advance since the last expo under Major General Anthony Anderson. And the transformation has been seen, felt, and endorsed by a lot of Jamaicans. The Jamaica Constabulary Force's quality of policing has seen significant improvements, buttressed by investments in a sophisticated, technological, and forensic network overseen by competent personnel who've been exposed to grade A training and upskilling in some aspects. Technology has been placed as a primary pillar upon which transformation has been taking place across the JCF. It has been weaving its way through all quarters of the force, informing investigations and leading personnel to the location of wanted people in a more timely manner. A significant part of that technological drive has been the build out of, you were describing it, George, as God's eye.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister described it as eyes in the sky. Or simply over time, the official title has been Jamaica Eye. Mm-hmm. The infusion of this system across different police jurisdictions has proven its worth in crime fighting and prevention. 10 quick Jamaica Eye highlights this morning, just as a matter of informing you, my listeners, about the results associated with this network. 1, the case of that missing school teacher, Daniel Anglin. Forensics and technology assisted in the nabbing of a suspect in that case. The police had said with the help of Jamaica Eye, they were able to identify the specific route which the motor car that she was traveling in was on. Number 2, don't know if you guys remember this one, dramatic shootout on Trafalgar Road. 3 men suspected to be involved in the murder of a man in Solofield. Murder reported to the Police Emergency Communications Center, which then used Jamaica Eye, God's Eye, Eyes in the Sky, to swiftly mobilize members of the Metropolitan Quick Response Team. Car intercepted, shootout ensued, 2 gunmen fatally shot, 1 arrested, guns seized. 3, Jamaica Eye aids police in denting vehicle theft in Spanish Town. You guys can read up on that one. Number 4, Jamaica Eye from the St. Catherine Monitoring Center leads police to the seizure of 2 illegal guns and the arrest of 2 men in Top Banks. Number 5, 4 who were abducting and robbing people arrested in sting operation of Constant Spring Road after the police used Jamaica Eye to intercept the Toyota Isis they were traveling in. Number 6, 5, including a teen nabbed after Jamaica Eye monitoring center captured them in relation to a robbery at Huey. Number 7, men who stole a woman's vehicle in the 6 Miles area intercepted and arrested in the stolen vehicle after Jamaica Eye tracked and assisted the on-the-ground police team. Number 8, Jamaica Eye monitoring center in St. Catherine IDs men involved in evening robbery who were intercepted and arrested. Number 9, construction worker nabbed in CCTV-aided operation and charged with murder. And number 10, because we don't have a lot of time, so I rounded it out to 10 of these Jamaica Eye stories. Number 10, transporter nabbed through Jamaica Eye after he was seen driving the car away from the murder scene. It is for highlights just like these, Georgian listeners, why investments continue to be made in the expansion of the surveillance network that clearly, and I've just told you about 10 examples, that clearly provides the police with that extra coverage across important corridors and hotspots. Over the last 2 months, if we're speaking about recent matters in relation to Jamaica Eye, 2 more monitoring centers have been commissioned. I was telling you just now about the St. Catherine Monitoring Center. 2 more monitoring centers have been commissioned. One at the Olympic Gardens Police Station. That center is monitoring 51 CCTV cameras along critical corridors in Olympic Way, St. Andrew West Central, and that was commissioned, as I said, at the Olympic Gardens Police Station. That center was undertaken at a cost of more than $100 million. And then last week, Thursday, another center was commissioned at the Denham Town Police Station. This one now is monitoring 285 high-definition CCTV cameras across sections of downtown Kingston. This at a cost of $300 million. Overall, we have 8 such centers across the country. And the National Closed Circuit Television Master Plan, because there is a master plan, this is to take us right across the country, will see the installation of 2,500 more CCTV cameras across the country over the next 3 years. It's that thrust to modernize the force and aid the police in how quickly members can intercept a wanted person or criminal activity in progress, or enforce the law against someone committing an infraction, or locate an offender. The camera, or their eyes, or the eyes of the cameras, multiply the coverage of the personnel. So even if a personnel is not there, the CCTV sees you, and in turn those in the monitoring centers see you and will alert the nearest team to find you, and that team will coordinate with several other teams to narrow you into a dragnet. These operation hubs as well include real-time monitoring and drug interdictions at sea. So it's not just about land. It's also at sea. The monitoring teams can tilt, pan, zoom the cameras.
That's where God's eye.
God's eye. I see you. You're right there. Plus, a noise, George, can be made and the camera moves in the direction where the sound is coming from. The police commissioner, Dr. Kevin Blake, if you haven't listened yet, I encourage you to do so, delivered a brilliant lecture on Friday, last week Friday, speaking on the importance of a sophisticated surveillance network, disclosing as well that the cameras are fitted with license plate recognition technology. And here's what he said.
Remember, we spoke about LPR, license plate recognition. So you have a camera in Arthurtree with license plate recognition capability, and a car passes that camera, but that license plate belongs to someone who is of interest to us. That license plate can be extracted, searched, and all of this is automated. Search the wanted person or the person of interest database, find that individual. It may very well have facial recognition capability, so it can verify that from an image that you probably have, and then it now it is we are integrating it with our CAD, our computer-aided dispatch. So we talk about Amber Connect that looks at vehicle tracking and fleet management. Our computer-aided dispatch does that as well, but for deployed vehicles who are on duty. Amber Connect tracks everything. This now are vehicles on duty, vehicles that can be deployed to a scene. And so what the use case that we gave the developers is all that I've described. So it sees the license plate, realize it's associated with someone of interest, but it uses the CAD because it knows that a police officer is on Hope Road and the vehicle is heading towards Hope Road. So that alert can go to the CAD, to the police on Hope Road. At that point, no human being is involved. And the first interaction with any human being is when the alert reaches the police.
So, George, you see how the technology is working. It identifies the license plate, and the license plate matches against their person of interest database. There's a person of interest in that car. And then it alerts the CAD, which is like tablets and information that the police have in their hand. Okay, which set of police is in Halfway Tree? Which set of police is here, there, or wherever they need to create a dragnet to ensure that the person in that vehicle is a person of interest. Is caught, is captured, arrested, taken into custody, and the police can continue their investigations from there on. What I'm saying this morning is, as this build-out continues, there won't be a major thoroughfare or town that the police won't be able to monitor and effect a more timely response, which is what you hear the police commissioner talking about. So what I'd say is, next time, as you think about doing something illegal, George, I'd say look up. Because for me, I was on a road a couple of days ago, stopped somewhere, and in your peripheral vision, you see a blinker somewhere. And when I look up, the cameras were so high up. And I said, listen, nobody knows that right here is being monitored. Really, really high-tech cameras. They're panning, and nobody knows those cameras are right there. And what I like is that you have hotspots or thoroughfares where people are going to do things. They're going to run a light. It's a dark end. Maybe somebody's going to try to do something. And more you have the government investing in the Jamaica Constabulary Force with high-tech CCTV cameras like these, who are giving the police this extra eye that they need out there to do the monitoring that they need to do. So when somebody commits a crime, easier, faster, they can grab onto you, they can catch you. So next time you're thinking about doing something illegal, look up.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:50.
JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union offers financial solutions for every stage in your life: savings, auto loans, mortgages, and more. The Temperature by JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is
28 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 23 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
And vibes, and through it all there's a glowing side. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores,
we're reaching heights, our energy that lights the sky.
JPS, powering what matters.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
You've led teams, built businesses, and influenced change. Now, lead research that transforms your field. Apply now for the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean's Doctor of Business Administration or Doctor of Professional Practice. Flexible, research-based, and designed for working professionals. All UCC programs are accredited by the University Council of Jamaica. Learn more and apply online at ucc.edu.jm. UCC, fostering leadership and innovation.
.52, time now to touch base with Ludlow McLean for Street Smarts 1. Good morning, sir.
Morning, George. Morning, Tona, listeners, Motoring Public.
Hey to you, Ludlow.
Right. Just to say, yesterday about this time, it was a bit hazy, but in a few minutes, it really got bright and sunny. Now it is bright and sunny. Some serious clouds above, and not serious, C-I-R-U-S. And all in all, it's a very busy morning, but let me just highlight what's happening on the eastern side, coming out of 11 miles into 7 miles to the roundabout Harborview. You have a slight build up there, but once you clear that, and this is most mornings, it's easy going through Sir Flazell Glasspool Highway onto Michael Manley Boulevard, onto in the vicinity of downtown Kingston. If you're on the other side, however, coming in from 3 miles, or if you're coming off the toll, you're going to find it quite busy, quite active. And in the vicinity of Harbour Street, it's really busy in that downtown area. So it's first report for the morning until 7:18. It's back to you, George.
Thank you, Ludlow McLean there with Street Smarts 1. Up next, the word of the day.
A word of the day is spelled Tantalize, spelled Tantalize.
Tantalize. Tantalize. Tantalize.
Tantalize is your word of the day, and tantalize means to torment with, or as if with, the sight of something desired but out of reach, to tease by arousing expectations that are repeatedly disappointed. Some synonyms: frustrate, tempt, taunt, provoke. Tantalize is your word of the day. Dictionary.com telling us that the word was first recorded between 1590 and 1600. Tantalize, to use it in a sentence. Let us see what Dictionary.com has provided real quick for us this morning, because they've been providing some really shaky sentences. But I see here one of my latest obsessions, tantalizing my taste buds and absolutely glorifying the best of spring flavors, is Green Gardens P-Dip.
Listen, we need to write our own sentences, because that don't make no sense.
Listen.
Mr. King wanting break. Rubbish.
Papaya is a tropical wonder packed with juicy sweetness and a 1-2 punch of vitamins A and C. Today on Food for Thought, we're diving into the power of papaya seeds. Those little black beads you've been chucking in the trash are actually nutritional gold. First off, let's talk about the unsung heroes lurking inside your favorite tropical fruit. While the juicy orange flesh gets all the love, the seeds quietly boast an impressive resume. Packed with protein, healthy fats, fiber, and antioxidants, papaya seeds aren't just a waste bin filler, they're your next health superfood. Papaya seeds are bursting with protein, healthy fats, and fiber. Antioxidants like flavonoids and polyphenols, check. Vitamins and minerals, double check. Think magnesium, phosphorus, and iron. Together, they boost immunity, fight inflammation, and support digestion. Sure, they're a little bitter, but so is coffee, and you're still drinking it, right? Here are some of the benefits. Digestive dynamo. Papaya seeds contain enzymes like papain that give your digestion a turbo boost. Wave goodbye to bloating and sluggishness. Parasite patrol. Got an uninvited guest in your gut? Papaya seeds house carpane, an alkaloid with a knack for eliminating intestinal parasites. An inflammation fighter. Inflammation is a villain behind many chronic diseases. Enter polyphenols and flavonoids, anti-inflammatory warriors that call papaya seeds home. Immune boosters. From warding off E. coli to fighting the flu, these seeds are a tiny but mighty force against bacteria and viruses. Kidney and heart heroes. Papaya seeds help detoxify the liver, protect the kidneys, and may even prevent kidney stones. Their fiber content lowers bad cholesterol, promoting a healthier heart. That's multitasking at its finest. Skin saving. Want glowing skin? These seeds are your secret weapon. Their antioxidants fight free radicals, delay aging, and promote clear, youthful skin. Beauty meets brains. As powerful as these seeds are, don't go overboard. Too much can lead to digestive discomfort, and certain people, like pregnant women, should steer clear entirely. So, how do you make these little wonders work for you? Start small. Add a sprinkle to your smoothies or salads, or grind them like pepper for an exotic twist. Next time you slice open a papaya, think twice before trashing the seeds. These tiny creatures are a nutritional powerhouse, ready to boost your health from the inside out. Start small, get creative in the kitchen, and unlock the full potential of this tropical fruit. That's it for Food for Thought. Until next time.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
Summer is approaching. Can you feel that heat? And the trends are definitely gonna come out. Hi, I'm Tana, and it's time for your lifestyle pages. Whether your place of work is strict or relaxed, there are just certain styles you should leave outside of the workplace, despite the summer heat. Never show your midriff, which means no minis or hipsters. Avoid revealing too much cleavage. Keep your straps under wraps. It may be hot out, but spaghetti straps are for another time. Ladies, no see-through without proper underpinnings ever. Save your flip-flops for the beach. Wear a pair of simple flats for your commute instead. Try not to go too tight. The office isn't the right place to hug every curve. Bear in mind, don't get too tacky. It's fine to express your personal style, but keep it refined. I'm Tana, and those were your lifestyle pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Jamaica, let's make road safety a priority. Slow down, stay focused. Remember, every life matters. The time brought to you by the JIS is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore. Kingston Normal Bay. The temperature by National Supply is
28 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 23 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news on this Tuesday, June 10, 2025, National Security Minister projects fewer than 800 murders for 2025. Major crimes in the Kingston Central Police Division plunge 36%. PNP says court injunction over takedown of party billboards in St. James is a win for democracy. And in international news, 10 dead in Austria school shooting.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang is again saying that if the current pattern holds, the country could see well below 800 murders for the calendar year. Speaking with Nationwide News' Cliff Hughes on Monday, Dr. Chang credited the continued reduction in the country's murder rate on the work of the police force in disrupting gangs with the continued backing of the Holiness Administration.
So based on the numbers so far this year, yes, it seems as if we could come in well under 800 this year.
That's where the numbers are heading now. It will be the first time in many, many years, but the numbers are going very well. We are now averaging under 50 for the last, except for, I think it is 60 in about March or April, but this year we're looking under 50 regular. About 3 months under 50, which is a remarkable achievement in the last 2 months and the month before that, February. The police is demonstrating an effective media disruption in the gang, but more critically, the policy they have adopted is to target the key players in the gangs, which then evokes a different change in behavior. Okay, if we don't have the killer to go and shoot, then you have to change the approach. And now they're looking at some of the organizers, and it's really disrupting the violence of the gang significantly.
Between January 1 and Monday, June 9, 292 murders were recorded. That's 231 fewer than the 523 recorded for the same period in 2024. Overall, major crimes are down 20%. Dr. Chang says this reduction represents a nationwide trend.
It's a national trend. In fact, I checked today, but last week we only had 2 parishes out of 9, and they were the 2 of the traditional safe parishes. So the numbers were pretty minimal. I think we had an incident in Portland where 2 Haitians of the illegal immigrants had an incident, and one murdered one, the other one. This friend murdered the other one, so you have 2 over last year. And in St. Mary, we have 1 in excess of last year. So that's a number, and that's also a parish which has, I think, 112 murders. So they are not major crime centers. All the major crime centers, and so they are down, significantly down. Like St. James is about 65% below. Western is somewhere in the 50s below. Clarendon is way down. And South St. Andrew was the one giving some trouble, but they're still below. I think they were tying at one side just below what they were last year.
Dr. Horace Chang, National Security Minister. Meanwhile, Dr. Chang says the government is providing the necessary support to the JCF to ensure the country sustains the reductions in murders.
It's a national trend. In fact, I checked today, but last week we only had 2 parishes out of 9, and they were the 2 of the traditional safe parishes. So the numbers were pretty minimal. I think we had an incident in Portland where 2 Haitians of the illegal immigrants had an incident, and one murdered one, the other one. This friend murdered the other one, so you have 2 over last year. And in St. Mary, we have 1 in excess of last year. So that's a number, and that's also a parish which has, I think, 112 murders. So they are not major crime centers. All the major crime centers, and so they are down, significantly down. Like St. James is about 65% below. Western is somewhere in the 50s below. Clarendon is way down. And South St. Andrew was the one giving some trouble, but they're still below. I think they were tying at one side just below what they were last year.
Major crimes are down in the Kingston Central Police Division with a 36% reduction in murders and shootings. There's also been a 16% drop in major crimes. Commanding officer for the division, Senior Superintendent Beresford Williams, revealed the figures while speaking with the Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, on Monday. SSP Williams says despite the reduction, there's a growing problem concerning interpersonal and domestic disputes.
Unfortunately, after going 16 months in this particular year, which was one of our most challenging years, we had a murder last month. But we have gotten on top of that. What has caused some problem for us, we have had a few unfortunate murders, stabbing murders, which has kind of shown our figures off, but we're still within the targets that we have set.
So you're seeing the impact of reduced organized violence.
Right.
But you're seeing the increased social violence.
Yes, sir.
Which would usually, a feature of that would be the stabbings or...
That's correct. Of the 9 murders we've had since here, 3 of them have been attributed to stabbing.
Prime Minister Holness met with SSP Williams and his team in Parade Gardens, a community that has been under a zone of special operations since January 2022. SSP Williams says the security forces are actively engaging in community policing.
The social, the community engagement, the domestic violence workshop, all those things we are pushing at in trying to manage the domestic violence. So we are having a lot of community engagement, dialogue with all the players and all the communities to ensure that we stay on top of that. Critical is our intervention in the schools.
Yes.
Yes. So we are dealing with that as well. Those sort of interventions. So we know that with continued effort like this, we will stay on top of it. Yeah.
That's SSP Beresford Williams. He's head of the Kingston Central Police Division. Opposition spokesperson on justice, the Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, says the government is moving to address the growing problem of gender-based and interpersonal violence. He says tackling interpersonal violence is just as important as addressing gang violence.
Part of the strategy is to deal with the murder, the man who used the ultimate violence, go on him, pop off him gun and kill somebody. But we also have to deal with the intimate partner violence, the man and woman business, where they beat up them one another and then them say they love each other. We have to deal with the family violence. People are fighting over land, go hire hitman to kill family member to get land. We have to deal with the neighbor problem.
The Prime Minister was speaking at a constituency conference in South Central St. Catherine on Sunday. He's urging Jamaicans to seek help to resolve problems before they escalate.
If you have a problem and you can't handle the problem, before that problem escalates to you pull a knife and stab somebody, or take acid and throw upon somebody, or some people, and not giving them any idea. But before it escalates, you just go there. Believe me, you just go there and say, listen, officer, I have this problem. And these police officers are specially trained. They're not coming to kick down your door and box and beat you up. They are coming there with the special training of how to counsel you through this challenge.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Opposition spokesperson on Justice, Senator Donna Scott Motley, is hailing the decision by the Supreme Court to support the PNP's application for an injunction barring the removal of political billboards in St. James. Senator Scott Motley says this is yet another legal win for the PNP in its ongoing defense of democracy and fairness in Jamaica.
This ruling upholds the principles of fairness, freedom of expression, and the rule of law. The People's National Party will continue to challenge the abuse of state power wherever it appears. No public authority has a right to suppress legitimate political participation, and no Jamaican should fear political victimization.
Senator Donna Scott Motley, opposition spokesperson on justice. On Monday, the Supreme Court granted 3 PNP caretakers in the parish leave to seek judicial review of the decision by the St. James Municipal Corporation to take down multiple party campaign billboards on April 5 this year. The claim was filed on behalf of PNP prospective candidates for West Central St. James, Dr. Andre Horton, Central St. James, Janice Allen, and Northwest St. James, Alan Bernard. The St. James Municipal Corporation was listed as the sole respondent. The PNP is commending the court for ruling in that manner and says that Allen, Bernard, and Horton have to be applauded for defending their rights, and they applauded the party's legal team for again securing justice. Entitled and desperate. That's how Chairman of the JLP's Communications Task Force, Senator Abka Fitzhenley, is describing the move by PNP President Mark Golding to berate members of the private sector who support the appointment of Dennis Chung as Chief Technical Director of the Financial Investigations Division. Golding told a PNP forum last week that he's very disappointed in members of the private sector who've come to Chung's defense.
The move by the opposition leader to take to the political platform and essentially cuss members of the private sector who have disagreed with his stance concerning the FID appointment is very unfortunate. Beatrice Siaga and William Mafuda are 2 members of the private sector who have been vocal in supporting the appointment. Unnecessary berating of some patriotic Jamaicans who are not coy about disagreeing when they see fit. What Golding has done regarding this matter is indicative of the leadership he proposes to bring, where when somebody disagrees with him, including members of the private sector, he clearly is prepared to take to the political platform and berate them unfairly and unnecessarily so. It smacks of a sense of entitlement and desperation on the part of the opposition and the opposition leader.
Senator Fitzhenley says the frenzied, sustained attack on Dennis Chung proves that the Mark Golding-led PNP has no credible message for the electorate.
That's why when they go on the platform, they talk about the Prime Minister having 28 accounts, suggesting he's the beneficial owner of 28 bank accounts. Not true. It's a lie. If you look at the Integrity Commission document, it speaks to Prime Minister's mother's account, father's accounts, sister loan accounts, a number of insurance accounts, mortgage, credit cards, etc. However, the opposition has been spreading this lie, seeking to pull the wool over the eyes of the Jamaican people because they have no message. Murders are down, record decline, over 44%. Unemployment and poverty, record low. The Jamaica Labour Party administration will not be distracted by the lies of the opposition. We are working on behalf of the people of Jamaica.
Senator Abka Fitzhenley, chairman of the JLP's Communications Task Force. The MP for Central Manchester, Rhoda Moy Crawford, says she is the hardest working representative in the constituency's history. She made the claim while speaking at a JLP workers' meeting held at Manchester High School on Monday evening.
I don't have to come to defend my record of performance. I know, you know, every Jamaican in Jamaica and the diaspora know that I have worked very hard. Manchester Central has never had a more hard-working member of parliament than yours truly.
Crawford, a first-term MP, is said to be challenged by Mandeville Mayor, the PNP's Donovan Mitchell, at the next general election. Crawford says she has a sound record to campaign on.
We have not only built or rehabilitated or patched 35 roads. The numbers have since gone up. On the way with road number 37, the Sparks program in Barnstable. We have delivered record number of tuition grants. We have provided support with book grants. We have helped our schools on so many levels. We have provided more than 600 building grants to constituents. We have provided 10 social houses. When I just came here, we only had 1 free Wi-Fi in the town. Today, we have 8 free Wi-Fi hotspots.
That's Rhoda Moy Crawford, MP for Central Manchester. JLP Deputy Leader James Robertson says the corruption scandal gripping the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation KCMC confirms the opposition PNP cannot be trusted with state power.
I am not going to cap, but there is an issue right now. And I am speaking in the councillor section, the early section tonight. I want to say to the PNP, if you own come and tell us that you have been thieving at the KSAC already, how so quickly you find yourself in that position? Their own has already given a statement to the police, to Mocha, and has told it how it will go if they can be raiding the KSAC, thieving out the KSAC. Good God, how could you make them go near billions when they're already thieving millions?
James Robertson, JLP Deputy Leader, addressing a constituency conference in South Central St. Catherine on Sunday. The opposition returned to the helm of the KSAMC following the local government elections last year. Since then, the KSAMC has been rocked by a scandal, which took a major turn recently when former PNP caretaker for Central Kingston, Lawrence Rowe, gave a statement to Mocha. Rowe name-dropped several high-profile PNP members who he alleged have been participating in a ruse to defraud the KSAMC. Rowe, whose phone was seized by Mocha as part of their probe, also alleged that a senior PNP politician has been funding criminal dons in the corporate area. PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell and Kingston's Mayor Andrew Swaby have strongly denied knowledge of any wrongdoing by the PNP or by the KSAMC. An item of regional news before we go further now. In Trinidad and Tobago, 9 men who were once charged with the high-profile kidnapping and murder of businesswoman Vindra Naipaul Coolman have won their appeal, reclaiming a $20 million TT payout from the state. The Newsday is reporting that in a majority decision, the Court of Appeal reinstated the compensation they had initially been awarded. The appeal court justices set aside a previous judge's decision to block the payout and restored both the default judgment and the original order by the master of the court. One of the 3 justices dissented. The men had sued the state for wrongful imprisonment and malicious prosecution after they were acquitted at the end of the criminal trial. In January 2021, a High Court judge ruled in the men's favor after the state failed to defend the claim. A master later assessed the damages and awarded them each around $2.1 million in January 2023. But in December 2023, the High Court overturned that default judgment and the $20 million award. In Austria, 10 people were reportedly killed in a shooting at a secondary school in the city of Graz. The BBC says 8 students, at least one adult and the suspected gunman, are reportedly among the dead. The shooting happened at a high school in Austria's second largest city at about 10 a.m. local time. Police have yet to release official details beyond acknowledging that several people have been killed and that the school has been secured. U.S. President Donald Trump is deploying more National Guard troops and Marines to Los Angeles as protests in the city continue. The BBC says Monday's protests were generally calmer, but the prospect of Marines on the streets has sent shivers through communities. California Governor Gavin Newsom says he will take legal action against the deployments, calling Trump deranged and dictatorial. Demonstrations in the city continued into a fourth day on Monday, with new rallies starting up across the United States against immigration authorities. Rubber bullets, stun grenades, and other non-lethal weapons have been used against the protesters. That's the news.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:17.
Rent or buy your hurricane supplies from Total Tools. Visit 102 Main Street, Oterius, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston 5, or Lot C6, Drax Hall, St. Anne's Bay. The temperature brought to you by Total Tools Jamaica is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
You have to win? Then just bet. Bet on the game, no stress, no sweat, and win big in the Wanna Bet Just Bet promotion. Spend $1,500 or more on one Just Bet ticket and complete the entry form at promotions.supremegames.com for your chance to win. Third place gets Beats by Dre. Second place gets an iPhone 15 and AirPods Pro. And first place gets a 65-inch TV and a soundbar. Promotion runs May 16 to July 20, 2025. Grand draw July 25, 2025. Authorized under Section 58. Of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning again, Ludlow.
Morning again, George. It's still bright and sunny, and the roadways are busy, yes. So those of you coming from places like the Angels Estate area, along that Walks Road area into Spanish Town, and on the bypass, and also on St. John's Road, definitely you're going to encounter traffic, and also on the bypass, heading to the roundabout by Josemarte, and then it's much freer, free-flowing as you make your way along the Mandela Highway, and then you see you'll see vehicles coming out that north-south highway, Edward Seaga Highway, and heading, most of them heading eastbound towards 6 miles, where that's where you're going to have to build up 6 miles to 3 miles, 6 miles to Washington Boulevard, via doing the park there, and the same thing going all the way down to Malines Boulevard. And then going across, further down, the build-up is really at Don Robin, as you pass Ducaran Avenue, Lindsay Terrace, and going further towards Constantine Road. That's where you have to build. And half a tree, as I mentioned, getting busy, and it's still busy all the way down Waterloo Road, onto Oak Road into Half a Tree Square, and going across to Trafalgar Road. It's building, but Trafalgar Road is moving. Chelsea Avenue, Auburn Road, all these areas are moving. No problems in these particular areas. So it's a second report, and I will continue to remind motorists that the indicators so it's very important if you intend to turn or to overtake. And the blocking of the intersections, still, please make note of those motorists. These areas they could be prosecuted. So there you go. Second report for the morning, and as usual, at Street Smart, your safety is our concern. George, it's over to you.
Thank you, Ludlow. Ludlow there with Street Smarts 2. Up next, front page. Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. APC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. You're now tuned in to our discussion segment, The Front Page. On the front page this morning, JLP and the move to settle their standard bearers for Northeast Manchester and North Central St. Andrew ahead of the next general elections. General Secretary of the ruling Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, Dr. Horace Chang, has confirmed that Ambassador Audrey Marks will be the party's standard bearer for Northeast Manchester in the next general election. Dr. Chang says the party has also settled on its representative for North Central St. Andrew. Speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday, Dr. Chang says while the formal announcement will be made before next Monday, their representatives are settling in well.
We have settled a candidate and it will be announced next Monday. But there, you will realize that there's nothing happening there that is contentious.
Yes.
The candidate is settling in very well, and we expect to announce our slate of candidates by next Monday.
And what about Northeast Manchester?
We have pretty much settled that as well, but again, we will proceed to do the time of what in the transition effectively before we make a public announcement, although that will be in the news from the ground and people on the street will tell you who they have settled in the seat.
I gather it's Ambassador Audrey Marks based on the ground. Is it?
That's what's come out of the consensus, and we'll make the formal announcement and say Monday when we meet again at the officer level.
Just like it is in North Central St. Andrew on the ground, it's Delano Seawright. Is it?
Then we'll make a formal announcement and give you a formal statement even before Monday. All right, but we want to meet all the stakeholders and ensure they're all on board, which we from all the reports we're getting, people on board, but we will ensure that we want to know we are doing our things in a timely manner. We are not in any way, we're not going to be hurried by current activities. We're not anxious about that.
Some of your supporters are annoyed and worried that you seem to be on the back foot and the PNP is making all the running.
No, that's you get back from constituents because of the atmosphere in our politics. They want to have the candidates there, but the election, one day in the life of a politician can be a very long time. And I think maybe the opposition is beginning to realize that one day can be a very long time. Things change dramatically. We are very confident, and we are proceeding at a pace that we want, and we are not changing it. There's pressure to change it sometimes by candidates who want more activity. We're in a mood now where we're tightening up our management structure in the constituencies. We are talking about motivating our workers properly, in that that's why our meetings having more work appreciation, so that there's any gap in terms of MP relationship with their workers. We spot them, we work with them, and we settle it. That the machine will be well oiled and ready to move when the party leader indicates so. And we have enough time to do it. And we're not at this point unduly worried.
You have enough
as
time.
I said before, as I said at one point, you're not a candidate until you're not a candidate. You're a caretaker until about 5 days before nomination day, when I informed the director of election that this is the slate for the Jamaica Labour Party, and the general secretary signs accordingly. That's when you become a candidate. And we have had candidates coming in as late as that and still winning elections.
There are whispers that you may be changing another one of your Northern St. Andrew candidates or putative prospects.
We don't have anything. We don't have that on the agenda now. But if we have to change, if something happens over the next few weeks going there in any seat at all across Jamaica, we have individuals we can bring into the picture. I think right now we have a pretty deep pool of talent, but we have to take time to establish the correct candidates in every seat. And we are not unduly worried at this point in time about that.
Dr. Horace Chang, General Secretary of the Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, he was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. For perspective on these developments, we're being joined by political commentator Dr. Nadine Spence and public commentator Jermaine Barrett. Dr. Spence, Jermaine, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to your listeners and viewers.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide this morning. You heard there from the General Secretary saying their slate of candidates to be announced next Monday, and it seems all but a formality now that Ambassador Marks will be heading to Northeast Manchester. Dr. Spence, to you first. What do you make of this development?
Well, certainly, if you notice, Sana, from the JLP, I think it's the first new woman they've brought on board this election, this go-round. So in terms of greater participation of women on their side, this is an improvement in the selection of candidates on this election. They did much better in the last election.
You have us on speaker, Dr. Spence? You sound a bit low. You have in your headset.
Go ahead. Hearing me better now?
A little bit better. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I said, in terms of Ambassador Marks joining their setup, I think it looks better given the fact that I haven't seen a woman join the JLP slate this election. That's one. Secondly, I think it would have been foolhardy of them to not have Delano on the slate, given his popularity, his recognizability nationwide, and his popularity in the constituency. Even though it was causing a little bit of dis-ease, I think, or unease, I think it was apparent from day one that he was the preferred candidate and he would give them a better chance of securing the seat. I think people felt it was either him or MP Samuda would have to go back if there was any kind of uncertainty about choosing Delano. So I'm not surprised that Audrey Marks, certainly I'm surprised that I didn't know she would have entered the representation of political framework. I guess this settles it then.
And Jermaine Barrett, these seem to be the last two seats now to be settled, and it seems both the standard bearers are in place and just to be announced now. What do you make of these developments? In particular, Ambassador Marks heading to Audley Shaw's seat.
Oh, well, as we know, Audrey Marks is not a career politician, and so it's going to be an interesting, a sort of arrangement to see how it is that she deals with the rough and tumble of representational politics and campaigning and so forth. But she's an experienced diplomat, and diplomacy does entail a degree of capacity with conversations, with communication, reaching people where they are and leading them to where you want them to go. And so those skill sets will come in quite handy. And so I think it is, quite frankly, a strategic move. It is, in my estimation, a bit regrettable that, she's just coming in now, because there's a bit of groundwork that would need to be done to really familiarize the constituency or the constituents with her. But of course, we don't know when the elections are going to be held. So possibly the JLP may be cognizant of that and aware that they have the capacity to do the groundwork within the time to ensure that she, has a decent chance. And of course, as it relates to Delano, I agree with Dr. Spence that, he is fairly well known relative to Tavares Simpson, who was also eyeing the constituency, and so that should make for an interesting sort of contest. Of course, it's a safe JLP constituency, so I don't think that there's going to be much trouble there. There's going to be some time spent settling some dust here and there, particularly amongst Labourites who feel as though they didn't get their way this time around. But I don't think it's going to be hugely problematic in either constituency.
The JLP General Secretary saying to the Nationwide at 5 team yesterday that the JLP's slate of candidates to be announced next Monday. We're speaking with Jermaine Barrett and Dr. Nadine Spence on these developments. Going to take a break and come back with more on NTM.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:31.
Fix up with Fleetwood products for your home improvement, personal care, and aromatherapy needs. They have your well-being in mind. Available at retailers island-wide. The temperature by Fleetwood Jamaica is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Yo, genius! Me just get the Burger King Double King combo. One original chicken sandwich plus a Whopper Junior with cheese. Well, 2 sandwiches enough. Plus a small fries and soda for only $1,300.
You use the new rubber money. You did say the money can stretch a Burger King.
Me mean you get more food for your money.
Oh.
1 combo, 2 sandwiches.
So you want I gotta eat whole 2 sandwich, brother? My belly can stretch, you know.
Get the BK Double King combo. Limited time only at Burger King.
More savings, more choices. Get active with Active Home Center. The one-stop shop for everything for your home. We have more savings, more choices, unbelievable prices. Great selection with the latest style. The kitchen, bathroom, right down to the tile. Buy the hottest items on spot, don't miss out. Best options under one roof, no doubt. More savings, more choices.
Visit us in store or online at www.activehomecenter.com.
We have more savings, more choices.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning, having a conversation with Jermaine Barrett and Dr. Nadine Spence about the Jamaica Labour Party, indicating now that all of its standard bearers have been settled. It's just a matter now of announcing those standard bearers. The General Secretary, Dr. Horace Chang, saying to Nationwide at 5 yesterday that that slate is set to be announced next Monday. Welcome back to the program, both of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jermaine Barrett, for you, the next move, the pivot now for the Jamaica Labour Party. I know it has been doing its work in terms of having its meetings across the country. Some road tours are being done, engaging with the public. But what next now that it says it has settled all of its standard bearers? What's the pivot? What's the next move in this campaign strategy going forward?
Well, first of all, the JLP will have to free up both of these 2 candidates from their some amount of the ministerial duties that they have. To do some hard campaigning within the respective spaces, particularly Audrey Marks, who is not as known within, amongst sort of grassroots Jamaicans. And so she will have to be freed up from the responsibility assigned to her, which is, to kind of help to transform the public bureaucracy, really. And that's okay because, we're on the cusp of an election. There is not much massive change that will be had within this period for the public bureaucracy. That's not going to be the priority of the government at this point in time, given the fact that those kinds of shifts generally lead to some kind of disquietude among public servants, among civil servants at large, and the government can't afford that. So that becomes effectively a dead horse within this period. So free her up, put her in the constituency, allow her to do the work and so forth. The Lana Steve Wright benefits from the fact that, he's a known identity, and but he still needs to go there and get, amongst the constituents and have them know him. One of the things that you also have to appreciate is the national political landscape, that, the numbers are shifting ever closer towards and even Steven between both political parties, and even safe seats are in contention right now. So I would not take it for granted, for example, that the St. Andrew seat is safe, and therefore, no work needs to be done. And of course, there's also a projection of these two candidates across the island in terms of boosting the JLP's standing. And of course, it does help that we settle these issues now, heading into the election, given the fact that, it's already late in my estimation.
And for you, Dr. Spence, what's the pivot now with these two as well as the entire slate and the JLP's campaign going forward?
I think for those two seats, which are quote-unquote JLP's strong seats, or what the JLP could see as safe seats, they recognize that they had to be careful because the voters were essentially saying, if you give us who we don't want, there is no guarantee that you're going to retain these seats. So I think clearly they had to think long and hard, and perhaps there had to be a lot of consultations, and there had to be agreement. And if there's no agreement, then we'll hear today, right? Mm-hmm. So there had to be some kind of consensus on who the people were that they brought into these seats. I think especially for Delano, and especially because of who is being replaced. These are people who stood at the forefront of Jamaican politics for over 30 years, so they had to replace them with people who were not, who were substantially contributing to the JLP politics, but also national politics. I think voters judge their political leaders by that too. How your presence feels nationwide, and I think people might be satisfied with the credentials of these two candidates. Both of them were in the Senate, just lately appointed, and so clearly the level of trust that the party has in them was being broadcasted to the nation, and it raised their public profile a little bit more. So I think the party was clearly thinking ahead. I think the pivot now is to make sure that everybody in the constituency knows that these are the standard bearers and knows them. And Jamaican people are very particular. You hear politicians talk about people saying that they haven't seen you in a long time if you don't come around every week. So they have a blistering tour to get to every nook and cranny of the constituency and to get the people who are not perhaps convinced and who are going to remain skeptical until they've visited them. Because Jamaican voters are a particular set, if they don't get their particular visit and their one-on-one, face-to-face shake hand, they might not turn up. Yeah. Especially even those people who are die-hearted, they will stay away if they feel as if you didn't think them important enough to get a personal visit. So they really have a lot to cover, a lot of ground to cover, and considering how some of their colleagues have been campaigning hard, you can see what they have to do. Yeah. So whatever national responsibilities they have, as Jermaine said, going to have to take the back seat to getting into the constituency and moving from house to house.
Yeah. Jermaine, here's the thing. Do you get the sense that the leadership of the JLP was less worried about who would go in Northeast Manchester than everybody else? Political analysts like yourself, constituents getting anxious that nobody was in the seat yet. Do you get the sense that to the party it was, calm down, we're just going to put somebody in there and everything will coalesce around them?
I think that the JLP has been strategic in placing Audrey Marks in that seat. It's a safe seat. She has credentials that are deserving of the party's confidence. And so, that's how that ended. I think there's a threshold of concern that would not have been met by the party top brass. Of course, there are concerns here and there, but I don't think it was to an extent that warranted a sort of a panic. Yeah. You heard the General Secretary yesterday speaking, and speaking as politicians do, always trying to calm the waters. But I think it is reasonable that they would have made that decision, recognizing that it is not a critical decision given the time frame that exists between now and possibly the general election.
And let me ask you this now, Dr. Spence. How does the PNP play this? Because guess what? Up to today, because there were rumors, well, up to yesterday, there were rumors before, but no confirmation. Yesterday evening, we got that confirmation. How do you think they would react to a situation that was chaotic where the ruling party is concerned, which of course is in their favor? Now, this big name prospective candidate comes in. Does this make the PNP have to perhaps commit more resources to Northeast Manchester in a way that they wouldn't have been envisioning, say, a week, 2 weeks ago, given the chaos on the JLP side, and given who some of the prospective successors for Audley Shaw would have been?
Yeah, I think the PNP, in Jamaica, we said the JLP carried them wide because I think perhaps they thought the Manchester was in play, because they were seeing a kind of, in their mind, uncertainty and perhaps potential chaos around who would go there. But Audrey Marks is not. She has the financial backing, and she has the reputation to be as competitive or close to as competitive as an Audley Shaw. And I would imagine that she also has Audley Shaw's backing. So it's not as easy. I don't know if the constituency was in play for them. I don't know if it would be in play now, because I think one of the things that political parties have to do is decide where they're going to put their energies and their resources. Where is a likely win? I'm not sure if this morning this is a likely win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the other thing to consider is this, lady and gentlemen. Jermaine, if you're Councillor Omar Miller, the man who's leading the Craighead division in the parish, and you've done some good work at the local government level, you've stood firm when the PNP was doing did very well in Manchester at the last local government election. A lot of people in the constituency say Omar is the man, Omar's time is now. And to get bypassed again, you imagine him and his supporters will be feeling how this morning, hearing the General Secretary on radio the morning after saying that he will not be the man lining up for the party in this seat.
Yeah, of course, there's going to be some disappointment by the councillor as well as people who are supportive of him. But again, there are some points at which a political party can take certain risks, and I think this is one such instance where the calculations would have been done. You want to put in somebody with more of a national profile. You want to put in a woman. You want to put in somebody with the credentials of an Audrey Marks. And then, of course, there's going to be some fallout. And with that fallout, you'll have to have the time and exploit and invest rather the energies to sort of bring everything together. And, of course, that is definitely likely to be the case, given the fact that, the elections haven't yet been called. It is a safe seat. It is Audrey Marks, for instance, and I don't think that with the aggressive thrust for political and party unity at this time, I don't see the goodly councillor making much of a storm about the issue. And of course, even if it is that a few of his supporters make an issue of it, I see that there's going to be not an public alliance with him and them in opposition to Audrey Marks. That's not going to happen. Not at this stage.
So here's the other obvious question then, Dr. Spence. The JLP's candidate list is settled, according to what the General Secretary was saying yesterday. So is the time now? Do you expect now that date, given that the necessary matters are settled, the pieces are in place, do you expect the Prime Minister to come to the people very, very shortly now to say, well, let's go?
Well, okay, I want to do some tests first. How many constituencies has he been to already in terms of his constituency tour and recognition of
He still has some left to go on his paper.
Right. He has more to go. I think when he has completed or has near completed that, we should give these two candidates time to go into. They might be the last constituencies that he visits, right? So they have to do their constituency work before he gets to do the visit in their constituency. And I think he has to do his 63 constituency tour before we say, okay, it's going to be soon.
So that's what you're using as your tracker. That's what you're using as your tracker. When he goes to all 63, that's when you say yes.
Because it sounds to me as if this is a commitment to visit all 63 constituencies, to get the workers ready, to give them the message, to let them know that they are appreciated. Some people are giving them awards. Some people are giving them baskets and television sets. I don't know. You've been watching it, George, so you see what's been happening.
Yes.
And one of the things we heard from the local government election is that the JLP workers did not feel as if they were seen as important going into the local government election. In other words, there wasn't enough connection on the ground. Parties in power tend to do that. They tend to forget the underground politics, and that's when they lose, because they assume that because they have a national profile, their workers get it. The JLP is getting it, that if they don't go and do the ground politics, do the hand-to-hand combat, do the knocking on the door, go meet the diehards, they will stay away. There is no guarantee, no constituency is a safe seat right now. This is what you're saying, that those people who do not feel appreciated, recognized, and who do not feel as if the party recognizes that they are critical to their success, they will not go out and vote. And so I don't believe that he's going to call it before he has visited majority or all of the constituencies.
But we keep being told, Jermaine, that a day in politics is a long time, and we've seen enough to know that that is very, very much true. How long does a party wait to press the button? How long does it wait to give new caretakers, new prospective candidates, time to bed into the constituency before an election, when there are other things in place, such as a party standing in private polls, in national polls, the feeling among people, that can fritter away with one occurrence, with one incident, with one event? How much rope does the Prime Minister leave hanging before he reels everything in and say, let's go, with all those considerations in play?
Well, George, it is a difficult call to make, and, sometimes incumbent administrations get it right, and other times not so right. I think the Prime Minister has proven himself to be quite a shrewd politician. I think he is feeling the pulse. His party is feeling the pulse. They're recognizing that the message about, the empowerment, the equipping, the mobilization of the base is necessary, because the base has been left unattended for some time now. And so there is still more work to be done, given the fact that they're faced with quite a competitive opposition, an opposition nipping at their heels. And then, of course, for these two constituencies, I don't think that it matters too much, needing to give them a great amount of time to do the work in the constituency. Because, again, these are safe seats. These are seats where the incumbents have such a strong political,
So if you're going to gamble with two, you could gamble with these two.
You can gamble with these, and I don't even think it's very much of a gamble, quite frankly. So I think,
meaning the lateness to get things organized.
Yes, I understand. So I think the real consideration is other constituencies. For example, in Westmoreland, where we see a shift towards the PNP, where we see, for example, in Portland, there are some concerns with the Vazis there. You need to mobilize the party workers such that they are in fine form, ready to hit the ground and engage.
Well, you're a wise man, the shift in Westmoreland and Portland, maybe according to your information, our polls suggest that they are strong there, but who knows? But hold on, I want to ask this, Dr. Spence. If you say 63 constituencies that the Prime Minister needs to tour, but is it a case that he could afford to not go somewhere because the MP there is doing so well by him or herself? Him say, well, I don't need to go there. Are there any such constituencies in this political environment?
If he went to Floyd Green's constituency, and in the last poll, the St. Elizabeth was trending way high.
Yes.
If he went to Floyd Green, he's going to go everywhere.
As simple as that.
Yeah. If he went to Floyd Green's constituency, I don't see which constituency is not. If he went to the St. Elizabeth constituencies that are safe, I think his intention, I don't know if he will get to, I think he might. His intention, that looks to me like a man who intends on going every way. The full way, rather. He intends on going everywhere. He and I think as well, I don't know if you see it, George, but there is this love that laborites have for Andrew Holness, you know. They feel as if they need to touch. The PNP has made Andrew Holness the underdog, right? And people now, older women feel as if this is their son. They want to pray for him. They want to touch him. They want to cover him in the blood, right? And they want to see him to do that. Young men and younger men want to bump off him fist and say, "We got you, dog. We got you. We see you."
And people want to take picture with him.
And people want to take picture with him. That's the momentum that we're seeing.
Hold the line, ladies and gentlemen. Might as well finish up the time with both of you. Coming back after this break.
Burnshack fried chicken always ready. Burnshack, original crispy. Burnshack, Cajun spicy. Burnshack, a barbecue. Burnshack, we are the Burnshack.
The time brought to you by Burchak Fried Chicken in Kingston, Montego Bay, and Ocho Rios is
7:51.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Pegasus Traders Limited has in stock air-cooled and water-cooled insulated diesel generators from 4.5 kilowatts to 10 kilowatts. Small gas generators 1,000 to 2,500 watts. Diesel 5 kilowatts welding generating plants. And the newest edition portable solar generators for a quiet atmosphere. They have lots more to view. Visit Pegasus Traders Limited at FYGAROshops.com or call 876-323-0790.
This is a public service announcement from Kingston Wharves Limited. Be on the lookout for fraudsters. Kingston Wharves Limited urges the public to be on the lookout for unscrupulous persons using the names of company officials to defraud unsuspecting persons under the guise of selling motor vehicles and other equipment. Kingston Wharves does not sell motor vehicles, neither does the company conduct auctions. If you encounter any such persons, report the matter to the police. That was a public service announcement from Kingston Wharves Limited.
Taste it, eat it, drink it, applaud it. The 26th staging of the Jamaica Observer Tabletop Food Awards, the Caribbean's premier culinary event, powered by MasterCard, takes place Thursday, June 26th, on the East Lawns of King's House. Get your tickets at Starbucks at AC Marriott, Starbucks Ligony, Starbucks Waterloo, Signature Boutique, Unit 9, Legal Business Centre, 31 Upper Waterloo Road, Uncorked 2, Constant Spring Road, Uncorked Barbican, Sovereign North, Uncorked Ochi, Draxhall, Uncorked West, Fairview Shopping Centre, Resort Wear by Ereline, Shop 4 Progressive Shopping Centre, Kingston, Cafe Dolce, 114 Constant Spring Road, Kingston, Fromage Bistro, 8 Hillcrest Avenue, Kingston, and of course the offices of the Jamaica Observer in Kingston and Montego Bay. Adults 18 years and over. Drink responsibly.
Are you burning up with this summer heat?
The place hotty, man.
Get cool now with a Hisense air conditioner.
I feel good.
With advanced energy-saving inverter technology and whisper quiet operation. Beat this heat with Hisense. Available at Aliaber Brands Limited, 64 Hagley Park Road, or call 876-676-5951 now.
So good. So good. I got to yield.
Talking politics with Dr. Nadine Spence and Jermaine Barrett, and we're talking about it from a JLP perspective because the General Secretary of the Jamaica Labour Party, Dr. Horace Chang, telling the nation on Monday that Delana Seabright will be the man in North Central St. Andrew, and Ambassador Senator Audrey Marks will be the woman looking to replace Audley Shaw as MP in Northeast Manchester, if it is that the JLP get the support of the voters in that constituency. I want to ask one thing before we go this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Jermaine, I know you are not an old man, not to say that you are ageable, as Jamaicans would say, Dr. Spence, but you've been around a little bit longer than Jermaine. I want to bring to your attention the fact that this deep in an election campaign, because make no mistake, the campaign is on. We don't get the election date or nomination date, but the campaign is on. In this election campaign, ladies and gentlemen, we have yet to speak to any significant issue concerning political violence. And I want to ask how both of you are reflecting on that thing, given that political violence has been to our politics like the relationship between the rapper and a stick of Wrigley's gum. They go together, they wrap up tight and have done so over many cycles where that is not in play in this cycle. Dr. Spence, you go first.
I think it's certainly, I don't know about you, Judge, but the way I see it, and Jermaine, it's at the back of my mind. It's there. I'm waiting to bring it out if needs be. I don't see it yet. I know that on the political platform, the parties sound different. And so a lot of people are looking back at it to say, I wonder if this means, oh, we don't like how this sound, it harks back too. Or, I wonder if these people know that they're treading on dangerous territory. So I think we are a little bit nervous, because we know when we hear it, we know what the precursor to it sounds like. And we're a little bit nervous because we realize that tensions are rising. But we don't call it forward yet because we don't see any evidence of it yet.
But that's part of the point I'm making, Dr. Spence, that even as you are nervous at this time, and funnily enough, you and I have a different view. You are nervous, I'm not. Maybe I'm naive. But here's the thing. You are here and you have the luxury of being nervous this deep. You can't point to that incident. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
That we are so deep, and what you have is a fear, given our history and how we stay as a people at our worst, that it can pop off at any time. But I'm saying that this far down, and we have no incident to point to.
We haven't.
That's remarkable.
It is because those of us who've lived through the 80s, lived through the trauma of the past, we know that by now we would have had something. We would have had more than just somebody said something that wasn't nice, somebody wasn't polite. We know we would have had that.
And Jermaine, there's no story of a yard full of PMP, the houses being firebombed, labor right car gets shut up, this, that. These things would have been ever present and numerous in times gone by. And I'm saying this cycle is remarkable for the fact that this deep, there's nothing of that to report just yet.
But George, we have been treading this path for quite a while now, I mean, I hear elders like yourself talk all the time about,
What a wicked man. Right? I truly grew him in a Dr. Spence. I mean, he grew him in a, that's why he rank with me.
There you go.
Yes. But we have been coming a long ways, and of course, things are interconnected. We're seeing a lowering of the violence and the crime and criminality within the society. I think the message is percolating. I was delighted to see the healthy democracy at play, where you had the PNP with their their protest against Dennis Chung's appointment, and then of course you had groups of labor rights coming out in support of their party. You heard the Prime Minister calling Jamaicans, labor rights to stand against the opposition with respect to their call for protest action. And then there was not a stone, not a stick, not a nothing violent promulgated against the other side. I think that it's a culture that's developing. I hope that it's a culture that has some staying power. And I think that we're in for that kind of experience for some time to come. I don't see us returning to the days before I was born, where you had houses being firebombed, and my relatives, for example, live in things that would have to run to country to get safe haven. I don't see that happening again. The democracy is maturing. And then final point I'll make, the issues of contention between the two political parties are issues that are, in some respects, in the average Jamaican mind, are esoterical. These are issues that the PNP is struggling to make relevant to the lived experience of Jamaica. So, for example, you're talking about Dennis Chung being appointed. You're talking about the Prime Minister's, integrity.
Statutory declarations.
Statutory declaration. Those things, yes, it matters, but it doesn't matter at such a guttural level to rally people to a cause. And so a lot of the conversations are just not landing.
And Dr. Spence, the final word to you, we must congratulate and commend, even though you're nervous, we must commend both parties for how things are up to this point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, we should commend Jamaicans too for being good spirited about it, because I see a lot of good spiritedness in the campaign, on the campaign trail. Even where two parties come into contact, but you see people dancing and having fun. I don't think people are as. I don't think the kind of tension and energy around it is as it was, and so. Even though I am still, based on the party, still
because you're scarred, Dr. Spence, yeah, and understandably so.
How long will the center hold? You're still I keep all fingers and toes crossed that the center will hold.
Yes, indeed. Thank you this morning for your time, Jermaine. Thank you this morning, Dr. Barrett, Dr. Spence, rather. All the best to you.
All right, take care, George. Take care, Jermaine and Tana. Bye bye.
All right,
all the best.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:01.
Success, powered by learning. The temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us, is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
Across Jamaica this Tuesday morning, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the government will continue to invest in technology that can help protect the environment. He was speaking on Monday afternoon at the handing over ceremony of a tree relocation machine to the Forestry Department.
The technology has evolved to the point where we can use technology to resolve this conflict that would emerge ever so often as we widen existing roads, that we can move the trees and replant them, and they have a 90% success rate of surviving. So that instruction was given, and what we are here today marking in this ceremony is the acquisition of the capacity to ensure that as we pursue the built environment, as we pursue the widening of our roads for our economic development and efficiency, we can also act as good stewards of our natural assets, our natural environment.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. The machine will be used for relocating trees during road widening exercises and other development activities. The $76 million machine is the first of its kind in the Caribbean. Head of the Forestry Department, Ainsley Henry, says the machine will help the department deliver in its mandate of protecting and maintaining Jamaica's ecospaces.
We are proud to welcome a new tool in our armamentarium, which is designed to help us to reduce tree loss, preserve biodiversity, and support sustainable development and resilience. It will enable us to safely and efficiently dig up and relocate and replant some of the mature trees that development activities would have otherwise destroyed. As of today, rather than simply cutting down trees, we now have the capability to move them, to save them, to keep them growing, especially in our urban areas where they are needed the most.
Ainsley Henry, head of the Forestry Department, he was also speaking at the ceremony on Monday. The Bank of Jamaica is reminding the public that the old cotton banknotes remain legal tender until July 1. The central bank says businesses and individuals should therefore continue to accept them for transactions up to and on June 30. The reminder comes amid reports that some merchants are refusing to accept the old notes in their businesses. BOJ introduced a slate of polymer banknotes in June 2023 with a plan to eventually withdraw the cotton-based versions. The central bank says deposit-taking institutions have committed to continue accepting the old notes over the counter and in some cases via automated teller machines until the end of July. For its part, the central bank says it will continue to exchange the old notes for the new ones indefinitely. The rehabilitated Holland to Bounty Hall Road in Trelawney was officially opened last Friday. Work on the 2.2-kilometer stretch was completed at a cost of over $140 million under the National Work Agency's Maintenance of Secondary Roads program. The work included drain cleaning, culvert installation, curb and channel drains, and asphalting. The Holland to Bounty Hall stretch represents the second phase of the 3-segment, 20-kilometer Falmouth to Springvale Road Rehabilitation Project. Phase 3 of the project, from Bounty Hall to Wakefield, is to be repaired under the Spark program. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Tuesday morning.
Taxi drivers, ready to start earning more money? Join Amber On Time, Jamaica's taxi app built just for you. 0 commission in the first month, no catch. Plus get a free vehicle tracker to protect you and your ride. Stolen vehicle recovery and panic alarm response included. Download the Amber Captain app today and start driving. Or roll through to our office at 30 Westminster Road, Kingston and sign up on the spot. So whether you're the Kingston, Mobay, Ochi or anywhere else, work there. Come take advantage.
Looking for a gym that's got it all? Welcome to Express Fitness, where fitness meets convenience. With 24/7 access, you can work out whenever it suits you. And with island-wide locations, we're always close by anywhere and anytime. Love classes? We've got them. From aerobics to dance to spin, you name it, we've got it. Our certified trainers are here to take you on a journey. Call us at 888-FITNESS or visit our website at expressfitnessja.com. Express Fitness, your goal or mission.
This is a public service announcement from Kingston Wharves Limited. Kingston Wharves Limited urges the public to be on the lookout for unscrupulous persons using the names of company officials to defraud unsuspecting persons under the guise of selling motor vehicles and other equipment. Kingston Wharves does not sell motor vehicles, neither does the company conduct auctions. If you encounter any such persons, report the matter to the police. That was a public service announcement from Kingston Wharves Limited. Turning our attention now to Los Angeles, LA. Last weekend, tensions boiled over in Los Angeles after a week of immigration sweeps in the region sparked violent protests against the Trump administration and the Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE agency. President Donald Trump's decision to send 700 U.S. Marines and 4,000 National Guard troops to the Los Angeles area to support the federal response to the unrest has opened a volatile chapter in his mass deportation campaign. The location of the raids and subsequent protests, a liberal-leaning city in a state controlled by Democrats, also gave the White House an ideal public foil as it seeks to show progress on removing illegal immigrants and instilling law and order. The question this morning, what does these raids mean for undocumented migrants? And another question, what should they be doing now? Joining us, Nordia Barrett-Lewis, Consular Queen. Good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you so much again for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Go right ahead, Nordia.
Much blessings. All right, so let us look at the raids, because you'd have read about some of them just now that are happening, right? And also the protest. And protests is happening in California, in Texas, in Florida. It's all across the United States that these protests are happening now, right? And these are happening because people are saying, hey, we stand in solidarity with these undocumented immigrants. We stand with the immigrants, right? However, that alone in and of itself does not help these immigrants. It does not help them to become documented. It does not save them from ICE. So one thing to note is that the protest, the raids, the ICE raids, they're happening in places that are unthinkable. You're talking about the schools, your beauty salon that you're going into. I mean, the raids are taking place, right? And then all these people are getting picked up and detained. Now, when they are detained, they need some kind of help. And guess what? The protest does not make them documented. So these individuals need to start seeking to become documented or start seeking professional help, professional and legal help from now in order to be somewhat okay or to mitigate against the blow that comes when they are detained. Too often when individuals are detained, family members are not able to find them. They don't know where they are located. When they get that single phone call, they don't know who to use that phone call to reach out to. Mm-hmm. When all it would require is a matter of calling your service provider, calling your representative, whoever is representing you, call them, because you'd have already given to them a package with all the family members that they need to reach out to in the event something happen, right? The other thing is, before it even gets to the point of detention or being detained, at this point, start sitting down with your service provider. Come sit with Barrett Immigration and let us discuss what possible pathway is there for you. Not every undocumented immigrant that you're seeing out there is without a pathway. A lot of the times they don't know and they are relying on their own understanding. And it is their job to come to us. And since they're not coming to us, I am calling them out now to say, hey, come to us. Let us sit down and discuss your undocumented case. Mm-hmm. And let us see what path is possible for you at this time. So at least you can be in the situation of a pending case rather than totally being undocumented, being unprotected. I mean, when ICE comes in, they are sweeping. ICE is getting colder than normal. The last fiscal year, it was 300 a day that they had as a quota. Now it's over 2,000 per day at this time. So wow. You understand that they have to be moving into places in order to get those numbers up. So, I mean, the protest, is it helping? The protest is causing a pushback. ICE is going to push back. The more we protest, mm-hmm. ICE is going to push back some more. But it doesn't change the fact that the protesters are saying, hey, we stand with you.
And I realize that you said this morning, Nordia, that in terms of where they're going, it's not limited. They're going into schools, as you said, into the barbershops, into the salons. What are you hearing on the ground in terms of people not sending their children to school or not showing up for work?
Well, people are sending the kids to school, but what they're hoping for mm-hmm. is that it doesn't happen in their place. People showing up for work, they are showing up for work. That's the reason when they went into a salon that was probably about an hour from where I am. And mm-hmm. I'm just telling you about Georgia right now. an hour away from where I am, and they were able to detain 12 employees in the one space, and that could very well be the majority of the employees in that space. So people are going to work, but they are still catching up on them. So we're saying, hey, protect yourself. Remember, these people have to eat regardless of how we think, feel, how illegal their status may be. They have to eat. Remember, they can't just come on the system and to get some public service, public help. They are going to fend for themselves. Immigrants are known to fend for themselves. Immigrants are known to contribute to their taxes, undocumented or otherwise.
And finally, Nordia, in terms of someone who has an improperly done visa or, participated in visa fraud, how does that contribute to worsening the situation with those persons while they're undocumented and they're trying to become regularized?
All right. So just think about it this way. You are going through the process of being documented, and you breathe a sigh of relief that, hey, I am in a pending process, right? And at the back end of that pending process is a denial. Why? Because you had told some lie, you have misrepresented, you have committed some fraud all the way from 2004, all the way from 1998, when you last entered the embassy in Kingston, even though you did not receive a visa at that time. These information actually surfacing now. It has always been surfacing, but it is surfacing more now. People are more vigilant with the interviews they're doing, the documentary process that they're going through. They're paying keen attention. So what it means is that you go from undocumented to pending back to being undocumented. And that's not what you want. Now, being undocumented at the back end is going to take a little longer because there are things to do to fix the fraud in order for you to start the process again and to get to the point of being approved. That is if that's something that can be remedied.
Nordia Barrett Lewis, Consular Queen, thank you as always for coming on this morning and talking to us about what does the current ICE raid mean, or raids rather, mean for undocumented immigrants. Thank you so much, Nordia.
Much blessings to you.
All right, going to take a break and come back with more on NTM.
Apply for your NHD refunds at nhd.gov.jm or via the NHD app. Do not click on any links offering to help you. The time by the NHD is
8:18.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The temperature by Fontana Pharmacy, it's all good inside, is
26, 30. It's 30 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 28 in Montego Bay, and 26 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Data Protection Matters is brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
I have a question for you. If a new process was being launched in your organization this month, would you know how to assess its privacy risks? Would you even be told? Or worse, would you find out after the fact? This isn't hypothetical. It's happening every day, and is why today's shows matter. This is Data Protection Matters, powered by Design Privacy, and I'm your host, Chukwuemeka Cameron. Today, we're diving into a tool every DPO must master, but few have truly embraced: the Data Protection Impact Assessment. Yes, the DPIA. Before we unpack it all, let's get a pulse from our privacy radar. Here's this week's Prayer Hot Take.
Can a legal database publish your name? Can a legal database publish your name, even if a court ruling includes personal details? Germany's LG Hamburg just said yes. And it all comes down to journalism and Article 85 GDPR. Welcome back to the channel. Today's story highlights a major win for transparency and a big reality check on GDPR's limits. The Hamburg Regional Court dismissed a lawsuit against OpenJur, a non-profit database that published a court decision with personal data still in it. Let's break it down. Here's what happened. In 2022, the Berlin Administrative Court issued a ruling about someone behind on pension payments and receiving unemployment benefits. That ruling, with the person's full name, ended up on OpenJur, a digital platform that republishes legal decisions. The person, now the plaintiff, demanded that OpenJur take the decision down. OpenJur agreed to anonymize the name, but refused to delete the ruling itself. So the plaintiff sued in Hamburg, claiming damages and an injunction. But here's where Article 85(2) GDPR comes in. The court ruled OpenJur's activity is journalistic, not just a database. Why? Because they select and summarize decisions, request unpublished rulings, provide editorial value that qualifies as a journalistic purpose, which triggers national exemptions under GDPR Article 85. German law protects that kind of publication, and the source of the original data was a public court, considered reliable and privileged. Bottom line, the court dismissed both the claim for damages and the request to remove the ruling. So what can privacy pros and DPOs take away from this? Journalistic exemptions are powerful and can override typical data subject rights under GDPR. Legal transparency still matters. If your organization republishes public content with editorial intent, national laws may protect that activity. But be careful. Editorial judgment must be genuine. Simply hosting content isn't enough. Always know your exemptions under Article 85 and when they apply. If this case surprised you, hit that like button and subscribe for more GDPR cases with real-world lessons. Thanks for joining us. We're here to help DPOs stay sharp, protect their orgs, and navigate GDPR with confidence. Until next time, stay informed and stay protected.
Thanks as usual, Priya. And for those interested in hearing more Priya hot takes, you can go to the Design Privacy YouTube channel where she publishes 3 hot takes per week. Now back to today's topic. You have probably heard the term DPIA tossed around by now, I'm sure. Maybe in a board meeting, maybe in a privacy training, but what is it? And why do so many organizations ignore it? Let's look at the numbers. Design Privacy recently surveyed privacy professionals across Jamaica. Here's what we found. 75% of DPOs were only somewhat familiar with DPIAs. 25% were not familiar at all. And 0%, yes, 0, said they were fair familiar. That represents a serious knowledge gap. And it has real consequences. When DPIAs are skipped or misunderstood, risks go unidentified, laws like the Data Protection Act are violated, breaches go undetected until it's too late. Sound familiar? If you've ever wondered whether DPIAs are for you, this episode is your guide. Okay, what is a DPIA? Let's define it clearly. A data protection impact assessment is a structured process that helps you, 1, identify risks in your data processing, 2, evaluate how necessary or proportionate that processing is, 3, it puts safeguards in place to protect personal data. Think of it as a privacy X-ray. It scans for weak spots before they become legal or reputational disasters. Why DPIAs matter? Here are 4 reasons why DPIAs should be part of your privacy toolkit. 1. Under Section 45 of the Jamaica Data Protection Act 2020, DPIAs are mandatory. Data controllers must file one annually. They are not just best practice, they are law. 2. Risk mitigation. DPIs help you spot vulnerabilities before a breach happens. Think weak access controls, data over-collection, poor consent practices. 3. Building trust. Your clients and employees want to know, do you handle their data responsibility? A completed DPI says, yes, we've assessed the risks, and yes, we have taken action. 4. Strategic alignment. DPIs help you connect data protection to your actual business goals and system development. This is how privacy stops being a blocker and starts being a strategic partner. DPIs aren't just about paperwork. They're about putting the 7 core principles of the Data Protection Act into action. Lawfulness, fairness, transparency, the first data processing standard. You get to assess whether what you're doing is right and clear. 2. The purpose limitation standard. In the DPIA, you define and document why you're processing data. 3. The data minimization standard. You only collect what you truly need. 4. Accuracy. You get to assess the accuracy of the content you process. 5. Storage limitation. You will limit how long data is kept. 6. Integrity and confidentiality. The DPIA allows you to protect data from unauthorized access. And 7. Accountability would put you in a position to prove you're doing all of the above. And DPIAs are your proof. Let's say you're ready to go do your first DPIA. Here's a 5-step process that you can follow. Step 1. Define the scope. Start with the project, system, or processing activity. What data are you collecting? From whom? Why? Step 2. Identify risks. What could go wrong? Ask, could someone's right be violated? Could data be misused or leaked? 3. Assess necessity and proportionality. Do you need to process this data? Could you achieve your purpose with less? Step 4. Develop safeguards. Put in place encryption, access controls, role-based permissions, regular training. Step 5. Document and review. Create a DPI report. Include your findings, actions taken, and future review dates. Update it anytime the system or processing changes. There's a myth circulating out there that DPIs are only for big companies or special cases. The truth of it is that any organization processing personal data, especially sensitive personal data, must conduct DPIAs. As we are seeing that more organizations are embedding DPIAs into every new product launch, ensuring privacy by design and by default. It's not extra, it's embedded. Let's bring it home. What is a DPIA? A privacy risk assessment tool. Why does it matter? It protects people, ensures compliance, and builds trust. What law supports it? The Data Protection Act. Finally, are you ready to get started? If you are ready to get started, go to our website at designprivacy.io and, as usual, download our free template that would help you conduct a DPIA. It walks you through the framework with examples, templates, and checklists. And don't miss our free webinar, DPIA Essentials from Compliance to Competitive Advantage, on June 26, 3:30 p.m. Head to our website at designprivacy.io. That's DESIGNPRIVACY.io and register. When you sign up, you'll get the DPIA Starter Guide instantly. Let's make DPIAs your new superpower and your organization's first line of defense. I am Chuka Emeka Cameron. This is Data Protection Matters. See you next time.
Data Protection Matters was brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
The time by Grace Good Move is
8:29.
Upgrade your home or business with Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Explore a range of termite-resistant plywood, quartz, solid surface, and granite. Experience timeless elegance with our cedar doors, crafted from premium cedar stock, kiln-dried for durability and beauty. For quality and craftsmanship, visit us at the Trade Center Kingston 10 or Hatfield Mandeville. Call 876-963-0628-30. Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Transform your space today.
Horton's RX, the Caring Pharmacy, the Yes We Can Pharmacy, the Yes It's In Stock Pharmacy, the House Call Delivery Pharmacy, the RX Pack Mobile App Pharmacy, the RX Plus Digital Wallet Pharmacy, the 20% Reward Pharmacy, the Easy to Remember Number Pharmacy, 876-RX0RXRX, the Easy Access 24/7 Pharmacy, Horton's RX, the Convenient Pharmacy, #wellness, #simply delivered.
A healthier you is brought to you by Express Fitness. Your goal or mission, Horton's Pharmacy, a family tradition of dispensing and caring for 100 years.
And Pharma Cold and Flu, distributed by Massey Distribution.
Time for a monthly check-in with our friends at Horton's Pharmacy in this segment called A Healthier You. And Chief Pharmacist at Horton, Stafford Horton, is joining me this morning. Good morning, Stafford.
Good morning, George. Good morning to everybody at Nationwide. Good morning to our listeners and our YouTube watchers.
Thank you on their behalf. Saturday, June 14, World Blood Donor Day. This year, it's being observed under the theme, Give Blood, Give Hope, Together We Save Lives. So, Stafford, we've invited you here this morning to talk about the importance of good blood nutrition. What have you to say on this topic?
Okay, George. Thank you for that introduction. It is exactly how I needed to start. On Saturday, June 14th, World Blood Donor Day. Give blood, give hope, together we save lives. World Blood Donor Day is organized by the World Health Organization. And here in Jamaica, our blood bank is located at Slide Pen Road in Kingston, with several affiliated satellite locations at hospitals in Jamaica, in all Jamaica's major towns. It is well staffed and organized. However, it always needs blood donors. Today, Horton's RX, the convenient pharmacy, offers advice in support of World Blood Donor Day under the theme, The Importance of Good Blood Nutrition. Blood is essential for human survival. It is the body's transportation system, immune defense, and temperature regulator. Blood delivers oxygen and nutrients to cells, removes waste products, and helps fight infections. Oxygen and nutrients are things, are products like glucose, which gives us energy, amino acids, which are proteins, which is a bodybuilder, and fatty acids, which are important for growth. Waste in the human body is carbon dioxide, a waste product of cellular metabolism. Also, there is urea and lactic acid, and the blood helps to remove the urea and lactic acid to the liver and the kidneys for filtration. Immune defense. In our blood, we have white blood cells and red blood cells. Mm-hmm. For immune defense, the white blood cells fight infections and protects the body from foreign invaders. Blood also helps clotting and prevents bleeding. It contains platelets and clotting factors to stop bleeding after injury. And finally, temperature regulator. It absorbs and distributes heat.
Mm-hmm. Very important for those friends of ours in colder climes, eh?
Certainly. Now, for nutrition.
Yes.
The nutrition of blood is important, as donated blood is screened thoroughly before, during, and after it is collected to ensure its 100% effectiveness. The foods we should eat: leafy greens, vegetables like callaloo, lettuce, cabbage, and kale. Nuts, peanuts, cashew, almonds, walnuts, and macadamia. Citrus fruits: oranges, grapefruit, lemons, limes. We don't eat lemons and limes, but we should use the juice. High in vitamin C, along with grapes, guava, Tahiti apple, sorrel, and papaya. And there was some papaya information on your program this morning.
Yes.
Excellent. Also berries, strawberries, and cherries. For pharmaceuticals now, the recommended pharmaceuticals are iron. And the new brands of iron, which is the iron polymaltose complex, do not cause constipation for those who fear constipation. Or we have iron products with stool softeners. And vitamin B12 helps the absorption of iron.
Yes.
B12 on its own virtually is useless. Folic acid, it helps prevent sickle cell problems. It's good for ladies who are pregnant for prenatal and postnatal care. B-complex vitamins like vitamin B1, B2, B6, and riboflavin. And minerals such as calcium, magnesium, and zinc. Those are the important pharmaceuticals. I go over them again. Iron.
Yes.
And there are new brands which do not cause constipation. Vitamin B12 helps the absorption of iron. Folic acid for sickle cell, prenatal care, and postnatal care. B-complex, vitamin B1, B2, B6, and riboflavin. And minerals such as calcium, magnesium, and zinc. That's it, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any
Of course. What's the difference? Staying on topic, but just differentiate for me. What's the difference between a vitamin and a supplement?
Oh, well, a vitamin, it's very little difference, really. It's just a different terminology.
Okay.
You know, and sometimes supplements in foods and in nutrition, so they are flavored to help with the taste.
Yes.
If it's in liquid form, but also liquid supplements come in tablets and capsules.
Yes. So it's just terminology difference then.
Terminology.
All right. In turn, so you've listed some vitamins and you spoke of iron, and a very important point, because back in the day, well, certainly when I was younger, Stafford, people used to warn you against taking iron, because they say, well, you'd have constipation problems. You're saying that the no iron that is in places like Horton's Pharmacy they're made in a form to make it easier on the bowels, and also if you twin it with a stool softener, you should be good.
Certainly. So there are the regular types of iron, and the more modern ones are called iron polymaltose complex. These do not cause constipation, and if you don't take those, you can take a product with a stool softener which prevents the constipation.
I went the supplements route, Stafford, because I was wondering about omega-3 fatty acids and potassium, and whether those two things play any role in blood nutrition as well.
Yes, omega-3 is good as a immune builder, immune system builder, and potassium, you get potassium naturally from banana. A lot of potassium is in one ripe banana, gives you all the potassium you need for one day. Yeah, if you see some athletes before they prepare for their event,
yes,
and during their training, banana is a big thing for them.
And even during competition, Stafford, because if the French Open just ended on the weekend, and a lot of tennis players, the elite ones, in between breaks, the breaks they have between games in a set, they sit and they wipe their face and they eat a banana, drink some water, and go back again.
Yes. Very good. Very excellent observation.
There you go. So blood nutrition, you say, of course, we've always been told, you're affirming now, that the leafy vegetables give you a lot of what you need for the maintenance of good blood nutrition.
Certainly. Callaloo, lettuce, cabbage, and kale.
Excellent, sir. Well, all right. June 14, Saturday, World Blood Donor Day. And the supplements, the vitamins you mentioned, of course, Hortons have everything and much more.
Right, and we are open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Saturday. Our telephone number 876-790-7979. And we are at 29 to 31 Caledonia Road in Mandeville. And we have our mobile app, RX Pack, which is available on the Google Play Store and on the Apple Store. You can have delivery and payment online. And as we say, it's wellness simply delivered.
Excellent, sir. Thank you this morning, Stafford Horton. All the best to you, sir.
Thank you, George. Have a great day to you. You and everyone at Nationwide.
Great. Stafford Horton there is the chief pharmacist at Horton's Pharmacy. More after this.
Was brought to you by Express Fitness. Your goal or mission. Horton's Pharmacy, a family tradition of dispensing and caring for 100 years.
And Pharma Cold and Flu, distributed by Massey Distribution.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:41.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Burger King. Stretch your dollar at Burger King with a new Double King combo. One original chicken sandwich plus a Whopper Jr. with cheese. Plus a small fries and drink for only $1,300.
The dust away. Everybody wants to shine. Tis the sun that loves you brown. When the system tries to bring you down.
Everybody's a Star. It's the B-side to the song we played earlier for you at 6:30. Thank you for letting me be myself again. Sly and the Family Stone. Both records went to number one on the Billboard Hot 100. This one from 1969 has been covered by so many artists. Gladys Knight, Madonna, Gwen Stefani, a whole lot of The Roots. A lot of people sampled this song, covered this. And yeah, good music for you as we remember Sly Stone of Sly and the Family Stone fame who died yesterday, aged 82, Sylvester Stewart. That's what he was registered at as. You see how Sylvester come in again, Tana? So put some Sylvester from Sylvester, all right? Thank you very much.
Santana not coming for nothing. That time of the morning when we tell some very special people happy birthday and happy anniversary. Belated fabulous 50, this one says, 50th birthday greetings to my neighbor and friend, Mrs. Carla Nelson, Auntie Annie, aka Auntie Annie, who celebrated her very special birthday on Friday, June 6th, wishing for her many, many more years of good health, happiness, prosperity, and continued spiritual growth. Birthday blessings coming from the Sinclair family. They're saying to you, Auntie Annie, we love and appreciate you. Belated happy birthday greetings going out to Dwayne Sinclair in Long Road, Portland. Praying for your healing and well-being. Birthday greetings coming from your dad, Foster, your stepmom, Danita, Matthew, and the rest of your siblings. We love and care for you, Dwayne. Happy, happy birthday. Over on Facebook, happy birthday greetings going out to Marky Brown, Dania Daly, Money K, Bunny Samuels, Sasha Bryan, Andre Smith Tulla. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday as well to Asha Gay Cowell, Shawnee Bless, and Maureen Gordon here on Facebook. Happy birthday to all of you. Wishing for you a wonderful day. And this one says it's an anniversary greeting. Glenroy and Nadine Griffiths celebrating 36 years of marriage. Happy, happy anniversary to the Griffiths, Glenroy and Nadine. And this one is for you.
I love you. The sounds are all as different as the lands from which they came. And though our words are all unique, our hearts are still the same. Love in any language, straight from the heart, pulls us all together, never apart. And once we learn to speak it, all the world will hear. Love in any language, fluently spoken here. We teach the young differences.
Also celebrating their day today. Oh, it passed. But belated happy birthday to Kira. Kira Uter at the St. Andrew High School for Girls celebrated her birthday yesterday, June 9. She's 17 years old. Happy birthday to you, Kira. Wishing her birthday celebration lasting all summer long. Loads of love and blessings to Lady Kira from Auntie Danita, Uncle Ringo, and Matthew. Another birthday here. My daughter Josette St. Clair, sweet 16. Happy sweet 16 to you, Josette. Best wishes from your dad, Lenz, your brothers, Damar, Carlos, Jakeem, your sisters, Deline, Davia, Shakira, and your grandma, Elsa, and Auntie Josette. So happy, happy birthday to you. Wishing for you a great day. Over on the YouTube chat, let's see here. Paulette Goey sending happy birthday greetings to son Theomar Goey. Theomar, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you coming from your mom, Paulette Goey. Scrolling on down. Who else is celebrating a birthday today? Do let us know. AMG sending happiest of birthdays to Kenneth from wifey Andrea, your daughters Andrine and Crystal, saying to you, enjoy your special day. So happy birthday to you, Kenneth, from your family, your wife Andrea, your daughters Andrine and Crystal. birthdays. Happy birthday greetings going out to Mona Suho there at JSIF. Hello to you, Mona. It's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. And wishing for you a great day. I did see a final one here in the YouTube chat as well. Amarildo Mackenzie sending belated birthday greetings. This one says to my brother from another mother, Ian Afro Mendez. Ian, it was your birthday. Belated birthday greetings to you. Hope you had a great one. And Latoya Burton sending happy birthday greetings to Davian Johnson. Happy birthday to you, Davian Johnson. Wishing for you a great day. Birthday greetings coming from Latoya. Otis B sending belated happy birthday greetings to MS. He says the queen of NNN YouTube page. Hey to you, MS. It was your birthday.
Happy
belated
birthday.
greetings to you.
Yeah, man.
Hope you had a good one. Vita Powell sending happy birthday greetings to Danny Ray from Shirley Brown. Wishing him a great day. So happy birthday to you, Danny Ray from Shirley Brown. That seems to be all the birthdays now. If you are celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you as well.
The Birthday Club was brought to you by Burger King. Stretch your dollar at Burger King with a new Double King combo. One original chicken sandwich plus a Whopper Jr. with cheese. Plus a small fries and drink for only $1,300.
I see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind. When I think of you sometime, and I want to spend some time with you, just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us. Just the two of us. Just the two of us, building castles in the sky. Just the two of us, you and I. We look for love, no time for tears. Wasted water's all that is, and it don't make no flowers grow. Good things might come to those who wait, but not for those who wait too late. We gotta go for all we know. Just the two of us.
And before we go, Becca Grant sending belated birthday greetings. She says to my son, my King Shaquan Mills, who celebrated his birthday on Sunday, wishing you many, many more years of blessings and happiness that life has to offer. Mommy, Daddy, and Grandma sending you much blessings. So belated birthday greetings to Shaquan Mills. And Becca Grant is saying, Tony, didn't see my son's birthday. Happy birthday to your son, Becca Grant. Oh yeah, that's what I just read. Right. So happy birthday to you, Shaquan Mills. I've read that one for you, Becca Grant. Hope your son had a good one. And I see a lot of you sending MS birthday greetings here. Belated birthday greetings again to you, MS. Hope you had a good one. So that's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning. Thanks so much to our technical operator and the musical maestro, Jermaine King, our super producer, Michelle McCray Smith, and our super editor, Kimon Thompson in the newsroom. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton, and at 10, Cliff Hughes Online. I'm Tana.
My name is George.
Good morning.
heard nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.